year. Inflation is still running well above the central bank's traditional target of 2%. And athletic wear maker Lululemon is teaming up with the NFL to produce officially licensed apparel with logos from all 32 pro football teams. Jerseys and other gear for both men and women are available now.
That's the latest news. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
WTN.
Happy Tuesday. Man, that storm is a beast.
It's massive, man.
Did you see from inside of the plane, the Hurricane Hunter planes that went out there?
No.
They did something that one guy said we've never done. The turbulence were so horrific, and it was so bad we had to turn around.
I bet. I mean, it's giant, man.
It is.
And Jamaica looks like a little ant.
It does. It is one of those things where the eye of the storm is going to be bigger than Jamaica.
Yes.
It is so insane. It doesn't even look real it just shows you, like, nature. I tell you, kids, it'll mess you up. And nature ain't playing right here.
Yeah, I'm worried for everyone down there, man. I hope everybody's okay.
You know, it's funny. I was talking. So, the lady does all of her digital. Rachel, by the way, congratulations. She's got back from the Dominican. She got engaged.
All right,
awesome. She's the best.
Congratulations.
But she was saying they were at a resort, and she was like, "Look, it was there already, but it wasn't there, right? Like the early clouds had come in. You know, it was beautiful outside, but it was the calm before the storm."
Yeah.
And she says, you're staying at these resorts. You're fine. I mean, these things are built. They're built. They know what's coming.
Yeah.
The infrastructure is American. These things are built to last. They're built to withstand anything. But she goes, on the drive there and the drive back to the airport, you pass a lot of shantytown.
Yeah.
And that's my fear.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw some of these places. A good brisk wind's going to blow some of these things over. This is going to be horrific.
Yeah. Yeah,
Somewhere
it is,
in
man.
some nice neighborhood, though, there is somebody standing out in their front yard going, we're just going to ride it out.
Yeah.
Because there's always that dummy.
Yeah.
Well, there's this one lady that ABC News is offering up some, audio cuts from her, Michelle Robinson. Apparently, she's an attorney who has offices in both New York and Jamaica, and she got caught. She apparently wasn't able to leave.
Oh.
And she's riding it out right now.
And it's I was listening to some Brits. They're like they're there on vacation, and they said, this hotel, they've got everything set up for us. Where to go, how to do it. The backup generator's on. We've got all the food we need. And this is a blip. He goes, they said the same thing, though. My worry is all the other people out there.
Right.
Because this thing is, when you look at the size of it, it is, well, it's the biggest storm this year, but it is, normally we get these things, they slow down a little bit, and then they kind of dissipate. It's never really what it is. This is head on everything that's bad right at this thing. And I just look and I think to myself, my God, those poor people. Because we'll get remnants here of stuff, but nothing like what they're going to get. They're going to get head on in an area, as I would remind everybody, they're not infrastructure there. It's not the best.
Well, and I wonder what the surge is going to be because, we're talking 185 mile per hour sustained winds at about a 30-mile radius.
Oh.
And I have not seen, I don't know, maybe I've missed it, but I haven't seen what sort of surge they're expecting. And as we know, it's the water that kills.
They're expecting 10 to 14 feet.
Yeah, that's
the thing that kills you. It's the water. The wind will blow stuff around. You can escape the wind. You can get yourself protected to a certain extent. And by the way, it's not the wind that kills you. It's stuff flying around in the wind that gets you.
Yeah.
But this rain is when the deluge comes on top of, and it sticks, and then your infrastructure starts to break, as we saw what happened here with Katrina. Once that surge gets to a certain area, it's game over. It is. And you know what? I was talking to my military guy today. I'll play a little bit of some of the stuff we were talking about Venezuela, but he said, I asked him, I said, Mike, is it kind of a bizarre blessing that we have all of this manpower in the region before we go into Venezuela? He goes, it's huge. And he goes, no, what's huge is having the Gerald Ford there.
Interesting.
Because of its the communications and what it's going to be able to do. I said, how would that thing withstand? He goes, the Gerald Ford would withstand this thing. He goes, it would be gross and you'd be vomiting everywhere, but it would handle it. But he goes, having up to 10,000 soldiers with all of that stuff close by, if need be, is, command central right there. They could get that stuff handled.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That is quite the coinkydink.
It is. I know, right? And right before we go in to kill Maduro, who offered us everything.
And we said, thank you, we'll take it all, and you'll still be gone.
Yeah. We weren't asking, like, hey, would you give us some of this stuff? We're coming to take it, wink. Oh, we're not good at this. I just want to let you guys know that.
Hey, before we get off the subject of the hurricane, right now, again, there's somebody standing out on the surf going, I can ride that wave.
Oh.
And he will die when he goes out to ride that wave.
Yeah, I saw that movie. What was that movie? The Keanu Reeves and...
Oh, Point Break.
Point Break, yeah. By the way...
Johnny Utah.
2603 says, we were there, supposed to come home tomorrow, flew home Saturday, got the last 2 seats out. Woo-wee! That is insane. when I was talking to Rachel downstairs, I said, "How was your flight?" She goes, "It was the worst flight I've ever had in my life, getting out of Dominican." She goes, "It was okay for the first 3 hours, but because the storm is so big, by the time we got near Charlotte," she goes, "it was drop, 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 drop." And she goes, "It was one of those things where everybody's kissing the ground. Thank God we're here."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I couldn't even imagine. When you've got the people who do it for a living saying, this is the worst we've ever seen it.
Yeah.
That is crazy. I wonder what Greta Thunberg thinks.
I bet she's not anywhere near it.
No.
I would suspect that they haven't told her what to think yet.
Yeah. No, not yet. If only we could bomb the island. Isn't that what we're supposed to do? We're supposed to bomb the. Remember when Trump wanted to bomb it, the nuclear? Again, not the first person to bring it up. Trump was not the first. Like, could we break it up? Did you see from inside, too? Because here's the beauty of the modern world we live in. Everybody's got a phone. So everybody's inside of this thing, and they're all just, they're doing their jobs, and some are taking pictures outside going, oh, my God. And the size of it, we can't fathom what that looks like in real. I mean, it almost looks AI. Thank God we don't live there. It's just chilly outside.
Yeah, I'll take it. I'll take it over what's going on in Jamaica right now.
Yeah, Jamaican, you crazy. Here comes it, man. You think there's somebody going? No, they surf. They don't surf in this. Although, until it hits, they'll surf.
Yeah.
They'll get out there while the surge is happening. But they won't do it until, once the nastiness comes. Because nobody's out there to save you.
Absolutely not, man.
Nobody's out there.
Yeah, they're staging for after.
Yeah, I wonder what we're going to. I mean, because starting tomorrow, there's going to be good. You could text such and such to help out because this is going to be. There was already 3 or 4 people have already died, and it hadn't even hit.
No, it's a total of 7.
Is it 7 already? Mm-hmm. Wow. And then
goodness.
And you got to think about and it's the water. It is the water. That's the thing that's going to get you, that wall of water that's going to be out there in the mudslides.
3 of the deaths were in Jamaica, and 3 in Haiti, and 1 in the Dominican Republic.
Oh my Lord, that is. It's just. You know what? It shows you what something looks like when you really get a glimpse of it from the satellite pictures. It's just. I mean, like you said, it's a dot. I'm looking at one of the pictures that they've got up of the entire area of the Caribbean. And you're like, that is the size of it. And there's Jamaica. It's covered up in red. And then and then question is it going to turn anywhere? Where's it going to go? Is it going to head to Nicaragua? Is it going to just fade out? I don't know. It's going to be ugly, though. There's no doubt about that. So much stuff to get. It's Hot Take Tuesday. I'm so pumped for my hot take. I even practiced today on my wife with it.
All right.
So this hot take is...
Did you tell her to put the toilet seat down?
All the time, every day. Have my dinner ready. According to Bell.
Yeah.
I would never say something like that to the woman. She'd probably beat my ass.
She probably would. I'd be like, oh, my God, I'm so sorry. Hey, what was up with the armed robbery?
Yeah, apparently they knocked off a marathon store in Goodlettsville this morning as it was opening. There was one customer inside, according to reports. They got a bunch of lottery tickets and some money. And then it was four suspects. Then police found the getaway car in a nearby neighborhood just completely engulfed in flames.
Wait, they stole lottery tickets?
Yeah.
Okay, so we know we're looking for morons.
Yeah, that's the, I don't quite think they realize how that works.
Yeah, those are trackable and traceable.
That's like stealing tickets that's like stealing those game cards, like I buy you $50 in game cards for, whatever
right.
Xbox. Well, if it's not rung in and done right, you're not going to get anything out of it. God,
and then they'll find out where you're at.
People are so stupid. At least the guys in France care enough to steal something that's not traceable, except for the entire world looking for it. Did you hear?
And leaving your DNA behind.
Yeah, the DNA was not good. And apparently, those dudes, this is not their first theft of art of some sort. They were already wanted, or people already looking for what they believe to be this group now, who had already done another heist when it came to art.
A big one or just
Big enough, a couple $100,000. I mean, what's big enough? I mean,
well, that's a huge jump from a couple $100,000 to hitting the Louvre.
well, that's $100 million. What do you think you could get on that? Again, who are you selling that to?
You're going to sell it to a private collector who doesn't care if anybody knows he has it, and he's going to buy it at a discount because they can't sell it to anybody.
Well, that's just it. You bring him there. First of all, if you're dealing with somebody like that, where are you meeting them? Because they may drag you in there and then shoot your ass and take it, and they're not at that. They don't care. I've seen blacklists. I know how this works.
Yeah, you can find those kind of offers on the dark web. It's like, if you get me such and such, here's what I'll pay, and then they figure out how to, do the switcheroo later. But there's all kinds of offers like that on the dark web.
Yeah, I'm telling you, you go there, they're going to shoot you. They're going to make you go away, and then they're going to have your stuff and break it down, and there's nothing else that anybody can say. I'm surprised they haven't offered one of those big $2 million. Return it. No questions asked. $2 million. But gee, you can't do that either, because then all of a sudden you just told everybody, just go steal stuff and they'll give you money for it.
Go hold it for a while, then bring it back and you have the reward.
Yeah. Man, this is it's going to be crazy. I'm telling you. I want to see. They were so pissed too because they thought they had the other two guys, and then the media came out on Saturday and said they caught these two guys, and now the other two have gone cold.
Like they just totally into hiding.
Yeah, of course. Wouldn't you? No, you know what I would have done? I would have gone to the Louvre. They're not going to look for me there.
It's probably a good point.
Right? Why would they look for me there?
I'd want to go to at least.
I was just here.
I would want to go to at least one party with the jewels on.
So awesome, dude. Show up with the jewels. This is my wife. Hello.
I mean, it just takes me back to that scene in Goodfellas, man. Whenever they're all after that big bank robbery, they're all buying their wives pearls and
fur coats and all that stuff.
And the one couple bought the pink Cadillac, and he's like, "I put it in my wife's name.
Yeah,
take it back. Take it back."
Just idiots. Yeah, that's it. You always want to think, are these guys like, because you always hear, man, if you put half as much effort into something legal that you do illegally, then you realize they do something completely stupid. And you're like, nah, this was the best it was ever going to get. Good shot for this. This was your lottery opportunity. Coming up, Hot Take Tuesday. We got hot takes everywhere, smoking and otherwise. Remember, we want your hot take. Your hot take, not political, just fun. Something could be controversial about music or sports or whatever. Just give it to us straight up. We'll do that straight ahead. Chad Bench Show, Super Talk 997. UTN app. Prize Picks, baby. Are you ready for it? Yes, this is what it is. Prize Picks is amazing. It's #1 fantasy sports app. And are you ready to make some money? First and foremost, how does it work? Simple. Download the app. Use my code Chad. I'll tell you why that's important in a second. And you're going to pick a lineup. A lineup consists of 2 more players up to 6. You can win up to 2,000 times your money and get your money super easy. Withdrawals are fast and secure. Venmo, Apple Pay, MasterCard, you name it, they've got it all. Here's the other thing. You can pick, it's not teams. You're picking players based on their projected stats. So it's more, it's less. Shohei Ohtani's going tonight. Do you think he's going to strike out more than 5 guys? More or less. That's one lineup set. Then you can move to another lineup. It could be anything, too. You could do hybrid. You can go to basketball, hockey, soccer, football, or another player on the other team. It is up to you. It is that simple. What are you waiting for? Download the app today. Now, I said use my code Chad. When you do, you're going to get $50 instantly in lineups when you play your first $5 lineup. That's code Chad to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks. It's good to be right. Must be 21 in Tennessee. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-889-9789.
Will SNAP benefits survive the government shutdown? Tennessee U.S. Senator Marsha Blackburn says she's backing a bill to make it happen. We'll tell you about it at 12:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
All right, it's that time of the day. It's one of our favorite times of the week. We have a lot of favorite times of the week. It's where we give you a hot take, each one of us, having nothing to do with politics, all to do with pop culture, life, crazy stuff. Several of you have chimed in. One person, Tammy, hot take, Willie Nelson, Johnny Cash. They don't have great singing voices. I think that's fair.
You know who you're listening, though, to when you hear them.
Exactly. And you know what? Johnny, and their voices weren't great. They were unique.
Yeah.
Right? You know?
Perfect way to put it.
Yeah. And somebody else said, here's a hot take. When putting the toilet paper roll on, we like beards, not mullets.
Yes, sir.
So over under.
Completely agree.
There you go.
Doing it the beard way when you have a cat ain't going to work.
No. It doesn't matter what happens. The cat's coming anyways. That's what they do. That's what they do. Let's do it! Hot take Tuesday. Ooh, hot take. That guy's awesome. Speaking of not a good voices. All right, Bal, let's start with you today.
My hot take is that the Star Wars prequels were much, much better movies than people give them credit for, and that most people walked into the theater wanting to be 10 years old again and experience Star Wars for the first time, which is impossible. The original movie was about what happens, and the sequels were about how it happened. And you lose so much dramatic intensity when you know Yoda's not going to die, Obi-Wan Kenobi's not going to die. You know what happens to this kid later on in life. You know the Empire's going to come back. They're not terrible movies. They're not the best, but they're still really good enough to be part of the overall story.
Oh, that is a hot take because most people I know think they suck. Oh, my goodness. All right, Ken, what hot take do you have?
Paying with coins at self-checkout is a bold move. Like challenging a vending machine to a duel and losing in slow motion. You're a nickel bagger.
Oh, nickel bagger.
I thought they were called dime bags.
Well,
Different kind of bag.
That's different context. I got that from my nephew down in Dallas.
I love that. That is awesome. Do people pay? Can you even pay in cash at those things?
You can.
There's a sign up at the Kroger I go over to in East Nashville asking for people to pay with exact change because of the shortage of pennies that's happening now since Trump shut the production down.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I heard about that. All right, kids, my hot take. Been holding on to this one. Helen Keller was a sham. There's no way a blind and deaf girl taught everybody sign language and whatnot, which she didn't see. It's all fake. They wanted a hero. They thought, Annie may have done it, right? That was her sidekick. But Helen, I don't buy it.
At least she'd put a toilet seat down, though.
Maybe, but I don't buy it. I've never bought it. Even when I was a kid, I'd ask questions. I'm like, so hold on a second. She can't hear? Yeah, she can't see? So how'd she do sign language? How would you even know what you're saying?
I was getting ready to say.
Right? Nobody's ever questioned that. Just read the book, Chad. Right? What was it called? Remember that book? That was we all had to read it.
When her teacher was trying to explain what something is, she would put her hand under water, and then she would spell water in her hand.
Yeah, she's lying. That's a bunch of crap. You know what her teacher thinks? I think she's spelling water. She wasn't spelling it. How would you know what she's spelling?
She won the spelling bee.
How would you know what she's spelling? It's all lies.
Maybe the teacher's clairvoyant.
Lies. By the way, she also lived long enough to see cars. And I say see cars because she didn't. She died in 1968.
Wow.
Right? She died 2 years before I was born.
1 year before we put men on the moon.
She would have seen that too. I would have told her then. I think the entire thing is crap. Ann Sullivan may have come up with it. She used you as the vehicle. I don't buy it.
She got her cut.
I don't buy it. Oh, my Lord. Now people are going to be like, I can't believe you hate Helen. I don't hate her.
I didn't even know that she was credited with sign language.
Yeah, all the stuff. Anything, right? Anything. Braille, sign language, hopscotch, anything they could come up with. They gave it to her. I find it all baloney, and I don't buy it. Tell us more of your hot takes. We'll take some of those hot takes, read some of those text messages
You
coming
wouldn't
in.
even buy it with exact change.
Yeah, well, you can't now with the copper. Right, is that what it is? We're short on copper?
No, it's just costing too much. It costs like 2.17 cents to make a 1 cent piece.
Yeah. How about we just get rid of the 1 cent and everybody can round up to where it needs to be? How about those apples? Okay? It's just so silly. Only America would go, this costs more than to make, so we'll keep doing it.
Well, keep your toddlers from eating them.
Yeah, there you go. See? Right? Right there. Perfect example.
Be one less thing you got to worry about your toddler putting in their mouth.
Exactly. That's why you get paid the big bucks, brother. You get it. You get it. All right, coming up.
An exact change.
An exact change. Exactly. An exact change. By the way, if they took away the penny, how am I going to get those checks from all those giant lawsuits that are 47 cents?
That's right.
Well, they'd have to round up to 50.
They'd have to round up to 50. Got to go the other way, kids. Got to go the other way. Give us your hot take. We're taking them right now. We'll talk about some of those. Government shutdown going on. And AI came for Amazon. Well, not Amazon. It came with Amazon, and then it came for the people at Amazon. I'll talk about that.
Yeah.
Chad Vincent Show, Super Talk 99.7.
I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in our nation's capital, Senator Marsha Blackburn says she's backing a bill to keep SNAP benefits flowing during the government shutdown, aiming to protect food assistance for nearly 690,000 Tennesseans who rely on it. The Keep SNAP Funded Act guarantees uninterrupted funding through 2026, even if Congress stalls on a budget deal. Blackburn says Democrats are to blame for the shutdown and insists no one should miss a meal because of political gridlock. Hurricane Melissa is a Cat 5, packing 185-mile-per-hour winds, and the eye is now over Jamaica, at least the west end of Jamaica. Michelle Robinson is on the other side of the island. She's an attorney from New York who has offices in both New York and Jamaica. She tells ABC News she's riding the storm out there in Kingston because of her business. She didn't have time to evacuate.
When I realized that this storm was actually really coming, I would have to secure several locations before I left, and the timing wasn't going to work for me to leave.
The Republican Speaker of the U.S. House ruling out a re-election bid for President Trump in 2028.
The House Speaker describes the talk of a third term as the president trolling Democrats. Mike Johnson says the 22nd Amendment would prohibit another Trump run.
And I've talked about the constrictions of the Constitution as much as so many the American people lament that.
Johnson figures that passing another amendment to lift the two-term limit would take a decade. It would require the support of two-thirds of both houses of Congress and of the legislatures of 38 of the 50 states.
I don't see the path for that.
Stephen Portnoy, ABC News, Washington.
That's the latest news. Weather is next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
I'm WSMV4 First Alert Meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. Mostly cloudy and cool today, upper 50s, low 60s, with perhaps a little drizzle this afternoon. Steadier rainfall moves into the mid-state tonight and through our morning commute tomorrow. A few showers through the afternoon. Temperatures will stay in the 50s on Wednesday. We'll dry things out Thursday and Friday. 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday. Overnight lows are down into the 40s and 30s, but it is looking like good news for trick-or-treaters Friday evening.
All right, guys, USS. There's some tricks and treats probably down below where you can't see stuff. Crawl space, basement, foundation issues. Let USS come out and check some of those cracks, right? You got some of those? Maybe your basement? Next thing you know, you look up, you got water leaks. Oh, no. All of a sudden, boom, mold. We've been going through it. It's the worst. Wood rot. Urgh. Don't let that happen to you. Let my friends at USS come out. So United Structurals are going to come out, and they are going to give you a free inspection. Not going to cost you anything. And they're going to sell you anything you don't need. So call them today. Absolutely free for them to come out. 615-488-7855. 615-488-7855. Whether you've got issues with your foundation, maybe you got some sinkage somewhere, and you're like, this is getting ugly. Or maybe you just can't see some places, but you know some stuff's got down there. Get to it before it gets worse. Call USS today. 615-488-7855. Or check them out online at USSTN.com.
Los Angeles. Freeman sends a fly ball to center field. Varsho's going back before the catch strikes me. Freddie Freeman has ended it. It's a repeat hero with the last word on a Game 3 classic.
All right, Dodgers, let's get this one done earlier. I started watching the game last night. I went to bed. I didn't know they were going to play another 7 innings. 18 innings. Started just after 5 o'clock Pacific and finished at what would have been close to 2 o'clock our time.
That's baseball.
And then Freeman went deep, baby, yard. Dodgers up 2-1. Game 4 tonight. And who do you have here? The one and only Shohei Ohtani.
Some of those guys have to be wiped after playing 18 innings.
Yeah.
And then you got to come back again and play tonight.
How many pitchers, I wonder, did they go through?
Well, you're at that point now where you're going, all right, how many starters can go an inning or two?
Yeah.
Right? You know, it's not 22-0 where you're going, hey, let's let our, backup catcher pitch an inning. No, this is the World Series. So you're looking and going, all right, who's the guy that we know can go 3 or 4 innings and not have to worry about it? It would always be a Kershaw. Why? Because you're retiring. So if your arm falls off, you're done. And the Dodgers actually have another great pitcher, but he's out. Something to do with a family emergency. I think his wife and his baby, something may have happened. But, man, that was insane. It was absolutely insane. And, yeah, you start running out of pitchers. But tonight you got the greatest of them all. You do. See, the Dodgers last night used how many pitchers here? They used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, including Clayton Kershaw. Because at this time of year, and Will Klein went 4 innings. I guess he must have just finished this thing out. This time of year, you're not icing your arm. You're going out and you're warming up the next day because you know it might be it.
Yeah.
Right? So, but that was 18 innings. Ooh, goodness me. And the Dodgers win. Big game tonight. Come on, Dodgers. They haven't won a World Series at home since 1963. I've been to the World Series there.
But they've been in.
They've won the World Series, just they haven't won it at home. They always win it on the road.
What's more important, winning it at home or winning it, period?
Well, winning it at home would be great, right? Because you can celebrate with your fans. Like the first year they won it after a long time was during the COVID, and it was bizarre because it was in I think it was in Texas. And it was just so weird. There was like nobody in the park.
You weren't allowed to tag the runners because you couldn't be 6 feet away.
You got to think, I got you out. I got you out. What do you think of that? By the way, Bell, a lot of people agree with you on your hot take.
I appreciate that. It's a good take.
Ken, this is what I told Bell about Star Wars. Stay with me, people. Star Wars, great, whatever. Harry Potter, Star Wars. What do you have? You have a kid with some sort of gift. He lives with his uncle, doesn't really know who his parents are. Somebody comes, takes him away, they train him, then he fights bad people. Kind of? A little bit?
It's along the same lines.
It's nephew. What's up, nephew? Nephew. By the way, did you see they just bombed Hamas again?
Oh, the IDF?
Yeah. So they just bombed Hamas again. What, Trump's over in Japan. They're like, now's our chance. He's not paying attention. He's dealing with other things. We have a chance to go in and do something. I don't know what this one's about. The news is just breaking. Probably about hostages or, if it's about getting back the bodies, that's going to take years. They're already talking about taking years to clean that place out. I don't know if you're aware of this. It's a mess. Whatever's left of it. It is an absolute mess. Several of you have chimed in about your hot takes. Somebody did say, here's Josh with, it's political. Hot take, if a politician was involved in drama club or theater studies, anything adjacent to performance, they are immediately disqualified. I like that. You know what? No problem with that. No problem with that. Zero. AI is here. And it ain't going anywhere.
Got breaking news this morning. Massive job cuts at Amazon. Overnight, the company announcing it'll eliminate approximately 14,000 roles. This is the largest corporate layoff of the year, one of the largest in Amazon's history. NBC senior business correspondent Christine Romans joins us now. Christine, this may be preview of coming attractions. The AI boom is real, and it's meaning a lot of jobs are going away.
It really is, and this is 14,000 at Amazon, and people will start to get that notice here today. The company says it needs to be lean and remain more nimble in this age of generative AI. They want to operate like the world's largest startup.
That's 14,000. These aren't drivers. These aren't workers. They're going straight middle management. They're cutting everything they possibly can. And it is, 14,000. And I saw that Bill Gates said AI is essentially the greatest thing in his lifetime. Internet, AI, combustible engine, the wheel, fire, all of those things.
Dude, I tell you what, it's helping me out tremendously. All I've got to do is I've got to type it in, check the sources, make sure that what it gives me is backed up by the sources, and boom.
Yeah.
And I have to say, 90% of the time, there does not seem to be any anomaly.
It's helping you right out of a job, Ken.
Inaccuracy. Well, exactly.
But here's the thing, and we were talking about this earlier, because there's already a. First of all, people always say, "Well, what happens when your place gets downsized?" I'm like, apparently you've never heard of radio. Go to any radio station and you'll see a giant building. You know who's in there? 8 people.
Yeah.
When there used to be 100. Secondly, I have a national show. Not to be braggadocious. It's on about 100 stations. You know who's got that job? Me. You know who doesn't have the job? 99 other people. And then those people who run the board. This has happened since, I remember when the first duopoly came in. I remember when there was a big lawsuit in Los Angeles so they could have a duopoly, as they would call it, where you could own 2 radio stations in the same market. And it all changed. But there's a group out there that's producing podcasts that are AI. And as I was telling Belle, like if you're discussing how to change a motor in something or, something like that, okay. But if you want to, if human beings, we inherently kind of like each other, not everybody, but still. And we all have experiences that are human in nature. So if we're talking about, like we talked about here, our hot takes and we're having fun and we're talking about our family, you know what AI doesn't have? Family. And eventually people figure that out, that it's AI. And then they're going to go, and they're like, it just feels weird because this thing doesn't know about love. It's never had a broken heart. It's never been broke. It's not on food stamps. It's never had a car repoed. It's never won the lottery. It's pretending those things. So, but when it comes to middle management, and the other thing I saw the other day, if you're in law, and this is what I found really interesting, you go to law school and you come out, your first couple of years, usually, especially if you go to big law school, you work for these big companies. I'll tell you this right now. Your job starts, they always say this, your job starts when the partners go to bed. They don't need that anymore. They don't need assistance. They don't need all of these things, can do it in a heartbeat.
How do you... That was normally a transitional job where you learned on, like, it was almost like an internship.
Yeah, exactly.
So how do you go from the graduate to the actual lawyer if you don't have the interim system?
That's what people are asking, because not only is it that, it is you've got the lawyer. Who's the lawyers usually have? They have their oh God, I forget the name of them. They're
paralegals.
They're paralegal. Goodbye. No need. That's what they're talking about. That's how fast this is. And by the way, I was telling Belle, my friend did this. There's law ones you can download, went in and defended herself with this. And if you're a person too, this is the judge that was really fine. Said that, hey, you know what? Because you didn't bring a lawyer, we're going to let you kind of do that. If you're a lawyer, because this is what lawyers are getting caught doing. Have you seen this? They've been caught using AI for their briefs and using AI for all their stuff. And the judges are figuring out and they're mad. You're not doing the work. But it's going to happen. And when it comes to like doctors, they're going to figure a way to use it. They diagnose better in certain situations. It's not going anywhere. Now it's how do we use it is going to be the most important thing.
Well, I was watching NBC's coverage this morning of the Amazon layoffs, and there's more to come because, according to their reporting, NBC's reporting, companies are already gearing up for the tools that are to come.
Yeah.
And they're full. They are fully going to use those tools.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, we haven't seen anything yet.
No. I think people were just surprised at this point in time where 14,000 is a big number from a company that's doing okay. But a lot of people always thought that it was going to be the lower down being replaced by robots. And the first thing that it hit right in the center was middle management. I mean, 14,000, that's a big number. They all came in today and said, bye. And now, and I'll tell you this, if you're applying for a job and it's local, you better figure out a way to go in there and drop off your resume and application because they're all using AI to screen everything. And AI is just blowing people out of the water. My AI would say, anybody with pronouns, throw it away. But it is not going anywhere. And what we will get from it is going to be amazing, but there's going to be more than a learning curve. And where we are today compared to where we're going to be at Christmas, compared to where we're going to be a year from now, is going to be nuts. It really is. And it is a helper. There's no doubt it is a helper, but, it may be our downfall. Or it's going to give us new opportunities. And remember, when you name it, your AI, be careful. Because then, you start to be friendly with it. And the next thing you know, you're having conversations with it and you're telling her your deepest secrets and then it's using it against you.
Then you're on Amazon trying to find a hot body for it.
Oh, my Lord. All right, coming up. I saw that. Somebody said, Mario, Mercy, that new Chris Pratt movie's about AI where he defends himself in court. It's an AI court. It looks really cool.
Yeah, and just from the one trailer I've seen, the woman says something like, you have 90 seconds to prove, or 90 minutes to prove your innocence.
Yeah, Rebecca Ferguson, I think his name.
So
She's
it's
a great
like
actress.
you're guilty unless you can convince them you're not.
Yeah. Ooh, AI. And what's an AI lawyer going to cost us? Figure that out. We'll find that out. A bunch of other stuff. Still have our hot takes going out. Keep giving us your hot takes as well. More good stuff to get to. We'll do that all straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
Streaming on the Super Talk 99.7 WTN app.
All right, kids. Let me tell you something. Chapter. Medicare. Super important. Why? Well, as you get older, you like your plan. Next thing you know, your plan's gone away because that's what they do. Then what? Well, you got to figure out what you're going to do. So you call an agent that specializes in Medicare. They put you in something, you're like, it'll do. It makes them the most money commission-wise, but what's it do for you? That's why you want you to talk to my friends over at Chapter. All right? They don't work for the government. They don't work for big insurance companies. They work for you. This is what's great. Within 20 minutes, right after you talk to them, they're going to get you back all of your options in under 20 minutes. On average, Chapter saves seniors about $1,100 a year just by working with them, and it's absolutely free for you. It's no gimmicks, no pressures, honest advice from the experts who absolutely know Medicare inside and out. Dial pound 250. The keyword is Medicare plan. You say that, away you go. It's that simple. So what are you waiting for? Medicare, too important. Don't risk it. Work with a partner I trust. Chapter. Dial pound 250. Say keyword Medicare plan.
Hi, I'm Dr. Friday, president of Dr. Friday.
To you by Dr. Friday Tax and Finance.
All right, guys, let me tell you about the spooky season. Hey, let me tell you about my friends over at Busy Bee. I want to help you out. Right now, you still have time. Join the Beehive Club for free. All you got to do is get a pumpkin, carve it, buzz the bee. Then take a picture of it, tag them, and away you go with your free Beehive Club membership. Now, check this out. This is the treat of treats with no tricks. If you need HVAC service, schedule your fall HVAC maintenance. Get a free dryer vent cleaning, a $229 value, absolutely free. If you got plumbing problems, they're going to flush your water heater with any plumbing repair. That is a treat for you and your pipes. And guess what? Your pipes will absolutely love it. And if you're ready for a new HVAC system, they got a scary good deal. A scary good deal. Free 10-year parts, 5-year labor warranty, $750 value with any complete system install. Don't get haunted by the craziness of home hassles. Call Busy Bee today, where the service is sweet and the savings are spooky good. Busy Bee Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling, 775-7833, 775-7833, or online at busybeehvac.com.
Hurricane Melissa makes landfall. We'll tell you about that and more at 1 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
So our buddy Keith over at Contours, our good friend and yours, Matt, just came in here, and Keith gave us vegan oatmeal raisin cookies. Still with the raisins, huh? With the raisins. You guys and your raisins. Oh, my Lord.
Hey, at least Keith is concerned for our health.
He is. But my toe strength is good. That's what I'm telling you guys.
Got to have toe strength.
Got to have toe strength. By the way, if you want cookies back there, Ken, I don't know if you saw, they got some Oreos back there.
No, sir. That's a slippery slope for fat boys.
They got Oreos with the orange Halloween insides.
Are they double stuffed?
They may be double stuffed. It's evil. I know. It is.
It is.
That's what people love about America.
Because double stuff are the normal ones, and then regular ones are diet.
Diet. That's yeah. It's like, you know what? It's light. It's like light beer, right? It's light. It's light Oreos. Somebody just sent us Reuters, Amazon, Target, many as 30,000 corporate jobs coming to be taken away, if you will. AI is coming for you. It's coming for everybody.
I mean, you probably know this, Brother Chad. What are the jobs that AI is going to create?
The jobs that AI are going to create are prompting jobs. That's going to be prompting engineers big. All right, so learning how to use AI in a correct way for design. And this is where if you're a free thinker, it's going to be awesome. And a lot of it is stuff that we don't know about, fixing machines, things of this nature. At this point in time, because most places still don't even know how to use AI.
Right.
I mean, they don't. You know how most people use AI? They go on to Sora somewhere and they make crazy, funny things.
Right.
And then they post it all over the internet. But businesses are still trying to figure out how to incorporate AI into their actual day-to-day business outside of it writing some emails. And that's why these big companies are the ones first, because they have dedicated people that's all they do.
So it's going to be a trade.
Yeah.
That you will learn.
Yeah, you're going to learn trades. You're going to learn how to use these things and trade. And it's also going to open us up for other things that we don't even know about. That's one of the other things. When I was talking to my uncle the other day, there are going to be things that a year from now we hadn't even thought about that AI is going to open us up to do. That it's going to need humans to do the function of what it is that they may be coming up with. But at this point in time, it's a lot of what they're doing is the stuff that would be considered for many places busy work. But you have to have people do that stuff. Well, now you don't.
Yeah.
Now you don't. And yes, the other thing is I think it's going to give everybody the opportunity to become more of their own boss and entrepreneurial when you learn what you're doing. But you've got to study it. Most people don't. They just go and they play around and they make funny things and they laugh. And some of that stuff is hilarious. I'm not going to lie. But it is going to be it's going to be a curve for sure. There's going to be a curve. That's why I tell my kids, everybody poops. So you better learn how to swing a wrench. Coming up, So much good stuff still that we didn't get to. Some government shutdown stuff. Air traffic controllers finally missed their first paycheck of the day. I just saw one who posted it. It was 0.00 on their pay to date for this week. Going to get ugly because it's all going away this Saturday, too, for SNAP and whatnot. Got a bunch of other good things on the way as well. Plus, Scott Sapicki's in it, too. We're talking to him about beef.
Beef.
It's not what's for dinner because it's too damn expensive.
He raises beef. That's his day job.
Yeah. So we're talking to him about that. What's going on there? If you missed any show, shame. Grab the podcast. Hour 2 straight ahead. Chad Benson Show.
It's 1 o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast and traffic coming up in 5 minutes.
This is a special report from ABC News. I'm Michelle Franzen. Hurricane Melissa making landfall on Jamaica's west coast as a Category 5 storm near the town of New Hope, that's north of Black River. Melissa now considered the most powerful storm on record in the Atlantic Basin. ABC News meteorologist Kenton Goecki says the slow-moving storm is maintaining strength even as it tears across land.
As this moves through, it's still going to be a Category 5 for a lot of it. Of course, it will slowly start to weaken, but because it's so strong right now as it's moving in, it's going to take it a while to get down in those categories. Could still even be a Category 4 as it reaches Cuba. That's going to be by tomorrow night is when it's starting to get towards Cuba, and then the Bahamas by Wednesday afternoon there.
Catastrophic flooding and dangerous surge already having an impact, a big concern across the entire island. Officials warning residents and tourists in Jamaica to shelter in place and take the storm seriously. This is ABC News.
Well, that Gaza ceasefire is hanging by a thread. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered more airstrikes in the Gaza Strip. Fox News says it was told by an Israeli military official that Hamas shot at IDF soldiers earlier today. Hamas responded to Netanyahu's move by saying it will delay the handover of a hostage body. More from ABC's Patrick Reevell, who says Israel's accusing Hamas of slow walking its agreements in the ceasefire.
They say that tests show that the remains of what was supposed to be a 13th deceased hostage instead belonged to the body of a hostage who was already returned. Israel saying that Hamas is basically violating the ceasefire by failing to swiftly return the bodies that it is holding.
Meanwhile, Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announcing more strikes on suspected drug traffickers in the Pacific, saying the U.S. carried out strikes against 4 more alleged drug boats today, killing 14 people. Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans rely on SNAP benefits for food, but if the federal government shutdown continues, those EBT cards won't get new funds on November 1st, which is Saturday. And many recipients might end up seeking out groceries at local food pantries. One supplier is Feed America First, and its executive director in Murfreesboro, Mike Womack, tells WTN's Nashville's Morning News there's a lot of food waste out there.
The greatest country in the world, 40% of our food still ends up in landfills. And it's just amazing to me to watch how blessed of a country we are and how poor decisions we continue to make.
He says Feed America needs volunteers, and you can also drop off food at World Outreach Church in Murfreesboro. They'll be collecting food during every service this week and next. That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
700,000 Tennesseans going to lose a little bit here starting Saturday. 40% of our food we throw away. What is wrong with us?
40%, man.
How fat will we be if we didn't throw that away?
Yeah.
That is a lot of food to throw away. That is like a massive amount of food to throw away. And we got a lot of your neighbors out there. A lot of people out there going to be hurting.
Man, I remember, back whenever I was 19, I had a fast food job at a Hardee's. And I can't tell you how many hamburgers or sandwiches that would just sit there that we'd just end up throwing away.
And if you ate them, they made you buy them, right?
Well, you could sneak them. You could sneak them away. You could make your own, and I did.
It is amazing, though, how the regulations that they put on fast food, with how long you can keep a sandwich out and, when it's considered past time. I mean, that's part of why there's so much waste.
Yeah, and I know there's also states that have passed laws where if you're a bakery or if you've done some of this stuff, you've got to donate the food. You just can't throw it away anymore because we are throwing away so much food. And there are people out there that can use it. And remember, that stuff's, it's about freshness. It's not about whether or not you could still consume it, right? If you're from the 80s, many of you listening, your grandmother who grew up in the Depression, cut around the mold. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I think Kroger and Publix are heavy donators to Second Harvest Food Bank here in town. If something's getting close to its expiration date, and they don't think they're going to sell it, it goes to them.
Yeah, and here's the thing with the internet. Like I'm watching stuff last night, flipping around, just I had to do a call with somebody, and I'm going through and just laughing at goofy stuff, and we'll talk about it, my little Scientology thing a little bit later, which is hilarious.
Space Mormons.
Don't be mad, Mormons. We're joking. Everybody settle down. But there was a lady on there, and lady, she's 30, right? And she's upset about SNAP. She's trying to do everything. She's like, I got a job, I got to pay rent, I could barely afford gas in my car. I'm struggling big time. My kids got special needs. This stuff's all being taken away. It's a panic. It's a worry. And everybody thinks that, the left wants you to make you think that everybody's like that, and the right wants you to make you think that everybody's the welfare queen, right? And the reality is most people are just struggling. They got jobs, just trying to make ends meet, and it's getting more and more expensive to live. And having a check go away or having these benefits go away, you realize that, whoa, the struggle is going to be for a lot of people. And I know that some states have passed laws. I think Youngkin passed one, and is it Landry in Louisiana? He's passed one to, they passed a bill or something to make sure that people that their loss of SNAP benefits would be picked up by the state in some way, shape, or form. And I know people are trying to urge Governor Lee to do it. I don't think he's going to, because he's like, look, we got a lot of good faith and opportunities here and NGOs that will help you. So it's going to be tough, though. 700,000 people. That is a decent amount of folk here in the States. 700,000? How many people live here? What are we at?
In Tennessee?
Yeah.
It's almost 7 million, I think.
So that's 10% of the population are on SNAP or some sort of aid. And think about that. 10%. That's crazy. And those people are not, as of this weekend, they're not going to get anything.
Yeah, Ken's dead on. It's as of 2024, it was 7.228 million.
And no, I don't think Governor Lee is going to do anything about it. I don't. Because I think he thinks, well, this is the federal government side. They got to figure something out for themselves. It's not our side to pick it up. And I know, settled. We're sorry about that. God, the minute you say Mormons, space Mormons, they come out after you. But the
Space Mormon does not mean Mormon. It means something else. So
Yeah.
when you hear space in front of Mormon, we're not talking about Mormons.
Not talking about the same thing. Okay? So just, we call them space Buddhists, but it doesn't have the same ring. It's just, man, it's going to be tough for a lot of people out there. And I don't think people realize when they look at the federal dollars that come back to some states and other states that what they put into things. And this is going to be an interesting thing to see what they do, because I know that Blackburn is interested in trying to figure something out. She's also running for governor. So 700,000 people, they could be voters. It's important in this situation. But it's also important that people get fed. And, this is all, by the way, this is all self-inflicted by our government. They're fighting over ridiculous stuff rather than just stand up and go, let's get something done and go from there. But, Chad, what about healthcare? Yeah, figure something out. By the way, Republicans, you guys have bitched about it for years. Obamacare's awful, horrible. It's the worst thing ever. It only survives because this. Yeah, people realize that. But you never offered a solution. Government is like a dog. I said it yesterday. Dog, you ever watch a dog walk and gets around a pole? It gets stuck. Dogs don't go backwards. They don't know what to do. They just kind of sit there and look at you. Well, what do we do now? You got to walk them around. Government's in it. They're not backing themselves out of this. They're tangled in it. And the money. Go look at the money that the lobbyists. There probably isn't a bigger group that lobbies outside of the healthcare industry.
And that's one of the reasons the Democrats are digging their heels in. Is
and the Republicans.
The insurance lobby is going, we want our gravy train.
Hell
get
yeah.
it fixed.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of money that they throw at this, and I think we'd all be surprised how much money is thrown at all sides, because this is, to them, it's revenue positive. So them giving money, they don't care, right? Like so many of these Wall Street companies, they don't care who president is. They just want the president and the government to stay out of their way unless it's beneficial to them.
Yeah, unless you got a subsidy for me, go away.
Yeah. I mean, the amount of money pouring in. And so you've got Ken brought it up yesterday. It was, I forgot which union it is that's urging the Democrats to get back in there. Get back in there. Go. They're not, though, because the one thing that we've talked about over and over again, until somebody absolutely is 100% to blame, where they can go, all the polls say it's your fault, they're not going to move. They don't feel they have to. But I think that changes next week. Once people realize we didn't get paid and we don't have any of our SNAP benefits or whatever else is out there, then I think it changes. But not until then. And what is it, next Wednesday, right? We tie the record a week from today, which is 35 days. And the next Wednesday would be the new record. The new record. What? Yeah. Earlier today, we attacked another boat. How about those apples?
Once again, it's in the Eastern Pacific. This is now the third time that we've seen strikes in the Eastern Pacific. The bulk of these strikes have been occurring in the Caribbean around Venezuela. But we learned that 14 individuals were killed in the 3 separate strikes that targeted 4 ships. There were 2 vessels that were side by side. That was the first strike, then followed by 2 other strikes on speeding boats.
Yeah, that's... So 14 we killed? I mean, apparently we're going to eliminate people one by one.
Yeah, they saw one boat that looked like it had drugs in the shape of a giant tuna fish.
But Chad, there's all that cocaine. Okay. Bell and I were curious today about what kind of fish do they have out there? Could it be a fisherman? Do they fish? So what do they fish for, Bell?
2 types of marlin, and they sell fish is what their deep sea fishing tourism industry is based on.
Yeah. Yeah. So there you go. So if you're thinking to yourself, what if we killed a fisherman? Is it possible? I'm assuming it's possible.
Well, and like somebody said the other day, a lot of those fishing boats will have 4 or 5 engines on them.
Yeah. And it's like, here's the thing, guys. Do you think that everybody we've blown up has been like solid? We returned 2 of them back to their country. We don't do that if they're really like ISIS. So we're going after Maduro. It's going to happen. Everybody needs to know that. It's not if, but when. The one thing that I think is slowing it down right now is the size of that giant storm. Melissa. Is that her name, Melissa? Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Mel. We call her Mel for short. She is not very nice. But Mel is, I mean, we're talking 180 mile an hour winds into Jamaica. And did they say it might get to Cuba tomorrow? What's left in Cuba?
Yep. Well, the path is that it'll cross over Cuba around 7 a.m.
Cuba. So it gets to Cuba about 7 a.m., and then luckily it's Cuba. There's nothing in there. Everybody's hungry. They're like, finally, wash this off of us. Get rid of these people. Which would be, I would say this, as much as I am not about going into Venezuela. I think if we went into Venezuela, I don't know how much longer Cuba's going to be able to hold on.
Highest recorded wind speeds in Katrina were 175.
So these are faster.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's Katrina. And as our good friend Ken brought up earlier, the Weather Wizard, the surge is the thing that's going to get you. And that's 10 to 14, 15 feet in some areas.
Yeah, just think about a 15-foot wall of water coming right at you.
My God, that's just terrifying.
Tons of water.
And it's just nonstop. It just is. It's going to be, and they have nowhere, there's not a lot of places they're going to go in Jamaica. The one thing that is, and we were talking about it earlier, the one thing that is kind of a bizarre blessing in this situation in disguise is before we go into Venezuela, maybe, we have a lot of warships there. And when stuff like this happens in other places, it is the military that's usually the first on scene. So that is kind of this interesting thing, although we just docked one of our warships right there in Trinidad. And we docked it right there. Hello. Because Trinidad, the bottom of Trinidad is within 5 kilometers or so. It's 6 kilometers of Venezuela. So the party may get started, not fast, though, because we may have to turn around and go help what's going on in Jamaica, because it is going to be ugly. And God willing, there isn't any more deaths, but I find it hard. There's already 7 deaths. Is that what you said earlier? 7 deaths?
Yeah, and the fact that it's only 7 is pretty surprising, and I hope it bodes well for the future.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, there's the one thing about seeing, you get to see what's coming. That's the one thing about the hurricane, especially this one. She is a biggin', all right? She got a dump truck for her butt. That's what I'm trying to say. And that's the one thing that is a blessing. You know, tornadoes, you understand the weather, but it's still not there. And earthquakes, we always joke about there's earthquake weather. There's no earthquake weather. So you know, this is something you at least got to see. But just because you see it doesn't mean you can go anywhere. So many of these places, they're economically depressed. It's not like the infrastructure is amazing. And then when the rain comes, that's also the other stuff that happens. You start to see issues when that, as Ken was talking about, that giant wave of water that comes in, then it gets into the sewer. Then the nightmare becomes when you get all of the diseases and whatnot. So we'll be watching that. A lot of stuff still to get to. It's Hot Take Tuesday. We got your hot takes for you. Bell had a good one about Star Wars. Ken had one about Penny. I had one about a lady. We're going to talk about all of those things. Want to get your hot takes as well. Reach out to us via text. Bell, how do they do it?
615-737-9986.
This is the Chad Benson Show. Super Talk 99.7.
On the Super Talk 99.7 WTN app.
Birch Gold is awesome right now for this month, celebrating Veterans Day. If you buy $5,000 in gold from Birch, they're going to get you a silver commemorative round celebrating our veterans with the Gadsden and American flag. And it is awesome what they do. And if you're looking for a way to protect yourself in the event that things may go south, in the event that maybe AI bubble burst, in the event that maybe things don't work out that way that we were hoping, globally, it's about gold. It's been around for millennia. Dollar's weakened. Inflation still seems a little hot. Now's the time to take advantage of gold. This is what I want you to do. Text the word Benson to 989898 today. Birch will get you out there. Info Kit lets you take a look at what it is they do. Maybe you want to move over an IRA or a 401k, have it backed by a physical gold IRA, or maybe you just want the physical. They can help you with that. But information is key. Find out how you can get the gold as well as the silver with our friends over at Birch Gold, A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. Text the word Benson to 989898 today for Birch Gold.
Hurricane Melissa makes landfall. About 1 in 10 Tennesseans face losing their SNAP food benefits by Saturday. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has ordered more airstrikes on Gaza. These stories and more at 1:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
Oh, getting spicy over there again. We're getting spicy here. Hot take, hot take, hot take Tuesday. Always the hot take on a Tuesday. Sewer hot takes. I'll start it. I said it earlier, and I'll say it again. And this is no slight to Helen Keller. I think a vast majority of her legacy is baloney. Right? I'm not saying she could see and hear.
It's a little slight, Dylan.
I'm just saying I think it was more Ann Sullivan, and she used her because there's no way she came up with all that crap. You know what else was weird about her, though, that was interesting? She was obsessed with Akitas, the dogs. She actually went to Japan, and then she had an Akita, and she was obsessed with the dog, the Akita. Very bizarre. See, the whole thing.
She couldn't hear him bark?
Nope. That's why she was obsessed with him. But I think she came up with this, and she did this, and she did do stuff, but I think she was more figurehead, and people pushed her out there, because how would you know what she's saying? By the way, she died in 1968, 2 years before I was born. So that's weird that she was around when cars were around, because we always think of her way back in the day that didn't exist inside of a, like a log cabin learning from Ann Sullivan. All right, Bell, what you got?
The Star Wars prequels were not bad movies. They suffered from a lack of drama because you know what's going to happen to Yoda. You know what's going to happen to Ben Kenobi. You know what's going to happen to the little kid on the screen. They were not bad movies, but people walked into them expecting to be 10 years old again and get the same impact they got the first time they saw a Star Wars film in 1977. And you don't get to go back to that.
No, you don't. No, you don't. And like you said, there was doing the prequel after you'd done the movies, which should have been the sequels, kind of does take away a bit of that.
Yeah, I mean, it pulls out some of the drama because the first movie was what's happening. And then the second trilogy, the prequels, were how it happened.
Yeah. That's you're telling your story out of order. Well, I don't like that. All right, Ken, what you got for us?
Paying with coins at self-checkout is a bold move. Like challenging a vending machine to a duel and losing in slow motion. You're a nickel bagger.
A nickel bagger.
You're holding everybody up.
A nickel bagger. I love that.
Got that from my nephew in Dallas.
A nickel bagger. There's a band called Nickelbagger, right? Is there a band called that? Oh, Nickelback.
Yeah, Nickelback.
There was a guitar player named Dimebag.
Different kind of
It's different context.
Bell, always to the drugs, kids. Always to the drugs. Always to the drugs. There's your hot take. Let us know what your hot take is. Somebody said, Chad, are you sticking up for the drug cartels? No. Once again, I'm not sticking up for the drug cartels. If we're serious, when people say, well, they say 25,000 people are saved, there's no fentanyl on those boats. Fentanyl comes from Mexico, and those other portions of the fentanyl that matter get sent here from China and then put into drugs here and then shipped up here. That's where they come from. Go after the cartels. If you're serious about saving all of the people, then Mexico's the place where it's at. Cocaine, a vast majority of cocaine, including Colombia, which produces the most cocaine, that stuff's bound mostly for Miami, because, it's Miami. And then the other is all bound for Europe in a big way. Europe and Australia, they love their cocaine. They're still living in that, Studio 54 times. Still living back then. Absolutely. Somebody say, I'd take an Akita over an English or French bulldog any day. I love French bulldogs. I love Akitas. But if I had the choice, I'd do an English bulldog. The problem with an English bulldog is you've got to go immediately because it has sleep apnea. You gave me a dog that has sleep apnea.
Little fellas can't breathe.
They can't. They'll die in the middle of the night. But they're hilarious.
Ah, so cute.
And super obstinate, by the way. Sometimes they're like, you know what? This is as far as I'm going. If you would like to take me, then you're going to have to carry me. And they're not built to be carried. They're not. Just get a wiener dog, right, Ken?
Just get a little wiener dog. Yeah. Little fat weenie.
Yeah, absolutely. Because they're eventually going to be fat. Because they're so hilarious.
They won't stop eating.
No, they won't.
No.
They're like my lizards, they would gorge themselves. Like I got to the point where I'd feed them once every 10 days and they would gorge themselves because they wouldn't want any food.
Yeah.
But there was times when I know that they would eat themselves to death if given the opportunity.
Yes.
I often wonder, like my cat, I feel and my cat is so picky. He hates salmon, loves tuna.
But hates salmon.
Hates salmon. We'll give him a thing of salmon because, just like the chips you buy, there's always that one in there you don't like. Right? You don't like bubblegum shrimp? No, I don't. Thank you. We give him salmon and they just sit there. Like we'll empty it out and it'll sit there for days. He won't eat it and we'll throw it away. And then we have to give it to the lady upstairs, the rest of them. Such a weird cat. Such a weird cat. Coming up, Scott Sapicki's going to join us at top of next hour. We're going to talk about the cattle world, what's going on, because I think it is important. The beef prices, beef farmers are not thrilled. Farmers in general are not thrilled by what's going on, from the soybean battle to what is happening with, if you're a cattle rancher, what's going on there. And we're going to get a talk to him about, the cattle cartel, which includes realistically the big packers.
And how the tariffs hit him as an independent.
He's got a pretty decent sized one, right? I don't know what's decent anymore. I just think of Yellowstone. But it's really, a lot of it has to do, we're going to get into this about the monopoly that some of these big giant packing companies have. And that's another thing we'll talk about.
I think Scott lives on the Ponderosa.
Oh, he does. Man, remember the Ponderosa? They'd start burning that thing and think, it's as big as California. Part of Nevada and everything. That's a big farm right there. It's a big place. It is Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 997.
Information fueled, opinion driven. Super Talk 99.7.
1:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Right now in Mount Juliet, we've got one lane open on South Mount Juliet Road, northbound near Pleasant Grove. It looks like we've had a cement truck spill some of its load in the road. And right now in Jamaica,
the eye of Hurricane Melissa, the strongest storm to ever hit Jamaica in its history, has officially made landfall. This storm is bringing catastrophic conditions all across the island here. We're talking about 185 mile per hour winds that is essentially damaging so much critical infrastructure here, and also 13 feet of storm surge, which is threatening to inundate the southern coastline area here.
That's Ike Jaichi reporting. Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans rely on SNAP benefits to buy groceries, but that safety net goes away on Saturday if the government shutdown continues, and these folks may wind up needing help from food banks. One supplier is Feed America First, and its executive director in Murfreesboro, Mike Womack, says there's no judgment at food banks.
There's just so many different things that people could be going through that you don't know about. There are plenty of people that abuse the system, but the majority of people that any food bank serves, I would say, are legit people that just need a hand up.
Yeah, he says over there at Feed America First, they could use more volunteers, and you can drop off food at World Outreach Church. He says they'll be collecting food during every service this week and next. Israel has launched a new wave of airstrikes into Gaza just weeks after both sides agreed to a ceasefire. Here is Selena Wang.
We have reached out to the White House for comment in whether or not the president was given advance notice from the Israelis about this. But look, this is yet another example of a serious test of this tenuous ceasefire, which the Trump administration put a lot of pressure on to get brokered. And of course, the president himself was heavily involved in this. But just days ago, when President Trump was on his way to Asia, he made comments expressing confidence that this ceasefire would hold.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
This report is sponsored by Blindster.com.
Hi, I'm Kyle at Blindster.com. We sell custom blinds, shades, and shutters at low prices. Our blinds are handcrafted to fit your windows, and if they don't, for any reason, we'll remake them for free. Your satisfaction is always guaranteed at Blindster.com.
From the Beacon Capital Management Weather Center,
I'm WSMV4 First Alert meteorologist Stefano DiPietro. Mostly cloudy and cool today, upper 50s, low 60s, with perhaps a little drizzle this afternoon. Steadier rainfall moves into the mid-state tonight and through our morning commute tomorrow. A few showers through the afternoon. Temperatures will stay in the 50s on Wednesday. We'll dry things out Thursday and Friday. 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday. Overnight lows are down into the 40s and 30s, but it is looking like good news for trickle.
The Wellness Institute of Nashville. Write this number down, 615-246-5009 or painisbad.com. Why? Because you've got pain in your back, your lower back, sciatica. You've got tingling in your fingers. You've got bulging discs. You got all these things, and you're frustrated. And you don't want surgery. You're thinking this is the last resort. How about this? No surgery, no spinal injections, no painkillers, and you can get started for $12. The Big Daddy Trump special going on right now at the Wellness Institute of Nashville. Comprehensive exam. If you've got an MRI, bring it. X-ray. And they're going to explain the diagnosis and your first treatment, all for $12. Don't give up. I know you're frustrated. We've all been there. I swear by them. I'm up, I'm moving around, I'm bouncy, I'm living life, and it is amazing. And that is why I trust them. So if you're sick and tired of being sick and tired when it comes to your back and those pains in your neck and legs, the Wellness Institute is ready to talk to you. Get over there. Take advantage of the Big Daddy Trump special for just $12. Go to painisbad.com, painisbad.com, or call 615-246-5009, 615-246-5009 for the Wellness Institute of Nashville.
Selling your home can be stressful, but it doesn't have to be. Get a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate. There are no showings, no open houses, no stress. Work with the #1 real estate team in the U.S. and close with confidence. Go to markspain.com today.
For many of us, generators are becoming a must-have household appliance. From unpredictable weather to surprise outages, it's better to be safe than sorry. Generator Supercenter of Nashville offers fast and easy installations with 24/7 service and monitoring to all brands of generators and expert repairs done right. Our mission is to make owning a backup generator simple and easy. Visit your local store today or check us out online. Generator Supercenter of Nashville. We serve all Middle Tennessee.
Da 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 da. Wow, 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 wow. Oh, man. Several of you arguing with me. It's over. There is fentanyl. There's no fentanyl on the boats. According to who? The State Department, Department of Homeland Security, the DEA, Interpol. We can go on. It's not even close. Just good. Here's the thing. Google it. It's not hard to go look something up. You don't have to go to the library. Remember that back in the day? And you're like, oh, can I see the old stuff? Oh, you got to get the little Fisher thing and you got to go back there and you got to go look it up and you pull it up and you don't have to do that anymore. It's all there. It is. It's all in front of us. And Lena said, so I guess Rubio knows more. Rubio's an old school neocon. He lived, think about where he's from. Cuba, Venezuela, all of these places throughout South Beach and all of Miami have a massive power play inside of the Trump administration. They look at the Southern Hemisphere, in particular Venezuela and these places, as places they would love to see tumble. Big time. Okay? So there's a lot of that going on there. And the oil. Don't forget the oil.
And that was a winning strategy when he was was he a representative?
Yeah.
When he was a representative out of Florida, because that's what those Cubans and other South American people that have fled their countries want to hear.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's a great article. I'll see if I can find it posted about the influence that so many of these power brokers have in this situation. There's a want for that. And Trump, Trump's down in Mar-a-Lago. He hears from all these people. He's neighbors with them all, right? A lot of them have fled the tyranny and the hell of these countries. But here's something. Why should I care what happens in Venezuela? Why? I mean, what is the threat to Venezuela to us? A small amount of cocaine? I don't do cocaine.
We could save the zoo animals.
I think it's too late for that, man.
Probably.
I think they've grilled cheese those things to death. I think if you went to the zoo in Caracas right now, you'd be like, all that's in here is nothing. That's right. It's an imaginary zoo. So you can imagine what kind of animals could be in here.
We tried to eat the hippo, but he killed the ones we sent in the pen.
Oh, hippos are the worst. It is the worst. It is absolutely the worst. The hippos. Don't mess with the hippos, kids. They are the worst of the worst. They will get you. Bill, I'm surprised how many people agree with your take on Star Wars.
Very logical.
It is very logical. Again, I wasn't saying it wasn't logical. It's just a very interesting thing because,
I mean, most people went into that movie, again, with the attitude of, oh, it's going to feel like I did when I was 10 years old and I'd never seen Star Wars at all. Well, no, you can't recapture that feeling.
No.
And then when you look at the process of the way the story was told, there are certain things that you know in the course of the movie are or are not going to happen. So it loses some of its dramatic tension that way, and it becomes a story about how things happened instead of what is going to happen.
Now, they did 3 after that, the other ones, right? They've done 9. See, here, this is how much I gave up after. I went and saw the first one because my uncle dragged me. I wouldn't see any of these movies. I went and saw the first prequel, and I never saw another one after that. The other 3, is did that finally, that supposed to end it, besides the fact that,
Well, that set was put together with no plan and no through thread in the movies, and it's basically a big cluster F, and there's talk of them possibly decanonizing those movies and doing a second set of or another set of sequels.
Yeah, because then it just became a money. Well, you know what? You spend $4 billion buying stuff.
Yeah. You got to make your money back.
You got to, yeah. I mean, have you ever watched any of the Disney Plus stuff?
I don't have Disney Plus anymore, but I did for a while. You talking about the Star Wars stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, some of it I thought was really good.
Like the Boba Fett one. Is it Boba Fett?
The Mandalorian I thought was
that's
really
the one.
good. And especially the way they reintroduced Luke Skywalker into that. But there's been some stuff where you sort of watch it and go, yeah, it's not bad. It's like a decent TV show.
Took a lot of liberties.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. Movies are an interesting thing. Like you're right, though. The thing that bothered me about going to see those movies is the look was so much different, was also something compared to.
Oh, without a doubt.
It was like one was on film, the other was video, it felt.
Well, also, Star Wars, the first 3 was meant to look like a used universe, like it was being run on spare parts, unless you were a member of the Empire. But the first 3 movies were supposed to make it look like everything is great, life is grand, everything's going good for us, and there's no trash on the streets and nothing, and we don't have to worry about drugs and all that. So it was a completely different emotional look to it too.
Yeah, it was the whole thing. Because I was never a space guy. I was never I didn't get into. Buck Rogers was cool, only because Erin Gray was on it. She was kind of hot, right? And
that was the only good part of that show. I really, really hoped, And I still do hope a little bit that I can meet the guy who played Twiggy just so I can kick him over.
Beady.
Well, that seems like a mean thing to do.
Not Mel Blanc. He did the voice. I'm talking about the guy who's in the costume.
Why is that?
Because it's a horrible character.
He's just a little fella.
It's a horrible character. You can't go from Star Wars with C-3PO to this thing that looks like it's a walking toy.
It's not very nice. It was TV. They didn't have the same stuff. Okay? It didn't have the money.
Crap is crap.
It is. It is crap. You know who died the other day? Speaking of space, was it June Lockhart?
Oh, yeah, she did.
She was 100. She was in
yeah, she had good
Lost in Space.
Lost in Space.
Yeah. You guys remember Lost in Space? That had the robot, and then had the boy, then they had that weird doctor that always seemed to want to molest the boy.
Yeah.
Danger, Will Robinson. Danger.
Yeah, what was his
He's a
name?
registered sex offender.
Bill Mooney was one of the guys that, remember the song Fish Heads on MTV? Bill Mooney co-wrote that.
Really?
Yeah. Fish heads.
Roly-poly fish heads. I did my scary movie countdown today. Number 4 was Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
The original?
Mm-hmm.
That is a twisted film.
Toby Hooper, who did the movie, he had done 2 documentaries. One about the coming home of the Vietnam vets, and it was called Eggshells and how horrible they were treated and everything. And then he got this money. It was $150,000 total. He got John Larroquette. Remember John Larroquette?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, from Night Court.
Yeah. So they met.
Star Trek.
And I think they smoked a little weed, if I'm remembering the story. I mean, not that you should smoke weed. That's not who we are.
But if you want to, government shouldn't tell you
No,
you can't.
yeah, that absolutely. That's not, don't listen to us. But he remembers he got John Larroquette, which I found to be rather interesting. He said they met, and then he needed somebody to voice one thing. And if you guys remember the movie, as we talk about horror movies, we're going to talk more about them later on. It was really interesting what happened. He said, hey, can you voice this one thing for me? And this is what it was.
The film which you are about to see is an account of the tragedy which befell a group of 5 youths. In particular, Sally Hardesty and her invalid brother, Franklin. It is all the more tragic in that they were young. But had they lived very, very long lives, they could not have expected, nor would they have wished to see as much of the mad and macabre as they were to see that day. For them, an idyllic summer afternoon drive became a nightmare. The events of that day were to lead to the discovery of one of the most bizarre crimes in the annals of American history, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
He never saw the movie. He voiced the other parts for the things, never once saw any of the movies.
Dude.
It's funny because once you know that's him, you can hear the definition in his voice that makes it him.
Yeah. And so when Toby Hooper shot it, it was the hottest summer in like 100 years in Texas.
Yeah.
It's 35 days. He wouldn't let anybody change their clothes. So everybody did all that. And Gunnar Hansen, who played Leatherface, his outfit and everything weighed 120 pounds.
Oh,
they said the stench was so bad by everybody that they had to move the food far away from people because nobody could stand the stench.
I believe it.
And they also didn't have fake chainsaw. So Gunnar was playing with a real chainsaw. Let's just say a few times he missed back in the day.
Or was it a miss?
It was a miss. He was a very nice guy.
He came up with a good dance.
He did.
Chainsaw Boogie.
And the final scene where she's at dinner, and it's just macabre.
Get him, Grandpa!
26 straight hours nonstop shot. They just went over and over again. She said she nearly broke down. When she ran, she had a black eye. She had bruises all over. She goes, I literally was running for my life when he was chasing me. It was terrifying. And then he comes out there and he spins and he does the thing with the... So great. They got royalties later on. All of them got $100 for their movie. That was it.
That was it.
Was the salary they were paid?
Mm-hmm.
But they did get royalties.
Later on, way later on. You know where he sold the movie? The
Where?
first audience to see it? Cannes Film Festival.
I wonder how it went over.
He said, scared the crap out of everybody, which was not his intent. His intent was to scare people, but it was also to make people kind of laugh because it was supposed to be a little dark humor.
Yeah, I can see that.
He goes, people got that later on, which I found to be rather interesting. But the weird thing about it, he kept calling the Motion Picture Association of America, trying to figure out how he could get a G.
A G?
Yeah, because he said there's not really any blood in it, maybe a PG. The first cut was X.
Well, that doesn't surprise me.
Then when you go back and he goes, look, outside of the meat hook scene, there's not a lot of blood in it. You don't really see it. It's just macabre and creepy.
It is, man.
It is. So, and he shot it on like that 8mm, which made it seem like a snuff film.
The part where the brother in the wheelchair, man, gets pissed off at everybody and starts spitting.
I've never actually seen it.
You've never seen it?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
shame!
I can't deal with body horror.
Yeah, I'm that way too. I do not like torture.
No.
I don't like torture. And this movie,
yeah, there was a bit of it in it. Man, there was. But it's a different kind of thing because it wasn't a torture like.
Yeah, it's different, but it's bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
It's bad.
It's not like Hostel.
Oh, gosh.
Where they torture on purpose because you're paying people to do horrible things to people. This was just people who were nuts.
Yeah.
So, interesting, though. I enjoyed that movie.
Leatherface chases that guy with that mallet, man.
Oh, God, yeah. And when he opens the door, Gunnar Hansen. Oh, what a great movie. All right, coming up. More good stuff to talk about. Got some of your text messages. We're going to, as soon as we hit next hour, though, it's getting serious because Scott Sabecki's going to be here. We're going to talk about the cattle industry. What's going on? Beef. Where's the beef, right? She wants to know where the beef is, that little old lady, because the beef seems to be disappearing and the cost seems to be rising. Hamburger helper, all you're getting is the helper at this point in time. There's no hamburger involved. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997.
WTN app.
Raycon, best earbuds around. I wear my Raycons every day. The fit, right? So ergonomically, they're incredible. And these are the classic earbuds. The sound quality, second to none. They have so many different things. They've got awareness mode, active noise cancellation. They've got isolation mode where if you just want to focus, don't want to hear anything else, that's what you focus on. It's awesome. On top of that, they've got fast charging. So every 10 minutes gives you 90 minutes of listening power and multi-connectivity. 8 hours talk time, 32 hours of battery life, and they come with a 30-day happiness guarantee. If you're looking for the best holiday presents, celebrate their anniversary. 3 million happy customers with a 30-day happiness guarantee. Tons of colors to choose from at about, I'd say, half the price of other premium audio brands with no stems, no wires. They're called the classic earbuds from Raycon. So get yours now. They're awesome. And I'm telling you guys, once you wear them in your ears, you're like, these things are amazing. Go to buyraycon.com/Chad. That's buyraycon.com/Chad. Save 20%. Buyraycon.com/Chad.
Hurricane Melissa makes landfall in Jamaica. Day 28 of the government shutdown. Air traffic controllers missed their first paycheck since the start of the shutdown. And what it's going to mean for nearly 700,000 Tennesseans if it continues through Saturday. These stories and more at 2 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
I love scary movies. I was up early, as I am normally, and I thought, oh, cool, I'll watch some Friday the 13th. I'm like, which one should I watch? Do you remember the Friday the 13th? I think it was the fourth one where the chick had superpowers.
Vaguely.
Oh, Tina. Tina had powers.
Yes.
And she could move stuff with her mind. That's how they killed him in this one.
Yeah.
They killed him in this one because she had superpowers when her mind. Remember, Corey Feldman was in one of those.
Yeah.
He played Tommy. But I'm just like, I got to watch some of these. Everybody keeps asking me about Ed Gein. I think I have 2 episodes left on the Ed Gein show on Netflix. Ed was really crazy and he talked like this. Hi, Mom.
Yeah, the actor who plays him does a really good job because this dude in real life looks nothing like the character.
Yeah.
I mean, they have really made him up.
Yeah, just like, I love it when they do it. Like they did with, oh, God, what's her name to play Eileen Wuornos? Charlize Theron?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. She put on a whole lot of weight.
She did. She put on that. I put a whole lot. I'm playing a part, too. I don't know what it is yet, though.
And didn't she have her teeth worked on?
Yeah. So those people will do, right, for a job in acting. They'll do all kinds of stuff. They're like, "Argh." Just like we talk about with oh God, what's his name that lost all that weight?
Christian Bale?
Yeah, and the Machinist. Oh, that was so gross. I mean, he lost. He didn't have 60 pounds to lose, and he lost 60 pounds eating an apple a day.
Well, yeah, was that for the fighter?
Yeah, no, that was for the Machinist.
I don't understand the mind that has that kind of discipline.
No. Well, I guess if it's your only job, right?
But still, I mean, if you ask me to do that for a job, I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to get employed here.
Well, I think it would depend. If it was your passion.
Bingo.
So if they came to you today, Bell, and magically tomorrow you could play guitar like Eddie Van Halen and you would go on tour with whatever band, but you had to lose 30 pounds in 3 months, you would find a way if that was your passion to do it.
I could see the point a little bit.
Your passion is not, you're not an actor. So that's not your passion. So whatever your passion would be, you would find a way if at all possible. Some things, I mean, you can't make yourself, if your passion is to play center for the Lakers and you're 5'7", no matter how much you work out and try to stretch yourself, it ain't happening.
Yeah, all the passion in the world ain't going to change
Don't rain
that.
on my parade, boys.
I won't, brother. I won't. Not going to do it. All right, coming up, Scott Sapicki's going to join the program. We're going to talk about all things cattle. But from the business standpoint, as things are going for cattle farmers who don't seem to be thrilled by what's happening. We'll talk about that straight ahead. Hour number 3 of the Chad Benson Show. Get ready for it.
Two o'clock on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast coming up in 5 minutes. And right now in Jamaica, Cat 5, Hurricane Melissa has made landfall on the island's west coast. Ike Jaichi is over on the island's east coast.
The real danger isn't necessarily just the wind, it's the sheer volume of rain that's staggering. Some areas could see up to 40 inches by tomorrow, triggering that catastrophic flash flooding and landslides, especially in the hilly and mountainous regions.
It's day 28 of the government shutdown, and today air traffic controllers missed their first full paychecks since the start of the shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said if it continues, many controllers will not be able to make it without 2 paychecks.
They do really important work for our country, and they need to show up. But I'm not going to lie to anybody to not say that they're not feeling the stress.
Yeah, nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP food benefits for groceries are stressed. Their EBT cards stop working Saturday if the government shutdown continues. Many recipients will end up seeking out groceries at local food pantries. One supplier is Feed America First. Its executive director in Murfreesboro, Mike Womack, telling WTN's Nashville's Morning News they're going to need help.
Every food bank needs volunteers. Every food bank needs dollars. They have buying power. So for us at Feed America First, it's easy. Go to feedamericafirst.com, hit donate. You can make a massive difference.
He says you can also drop off food at World Outreach Church. They'll be collecting food during every service this week and next. Gaza ceasefire. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordering airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, claiming Hamas fired on IDF soldiers, and they're slow-walking the return of hostages' remains and lying about the remains they've returned. Here's Patrick Reevil.
They say that tests show that the remains of what was supposed to be a 13th deceased hostage instead belonged to the body of a hostage who was already returned. Israel saying that Hamas is basically violating the ceasefire by failing to swiftly return the bodies that it is holding.
No response from the White House yet. This morning, Amazon announced it's cutting 14,000 jobs. It comes just a few months after CEO Andy Jassy signaled the rise of generative artificial intelligence could mean fewer workers. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News and says that's all coincided with a spike in Google searches for specialized schools.
Trade schools, trades that pay well, apprentice jobs are trending again more than they have since 2004. And some examples of the breakout searches are electrical schools, plumbing, mechanics, ultrasound techs have been trending up over the past 5 years, power plant operators, among others.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
So, Scott is late. Late! Probably doing cattle stuff, I would assume.
No, he was in a meeting about Memphis, which is like, we're Nashville. Why do we care about Memphis?
That's the way we feel about Venezuela.
We should take a saw, and around the border of the city of Memphis, we should saw it off.
Push it
and
over to Arkansas,
into Mississippi.
Push it over to Arkansas. You take it. I don't want it. What could they be talking about? Oh, is it the? Are there National Guard? I haven't heard anything about that at all. On the guards, are there guards there? They're not guards there. I know. It's like tariffs. What tariffs are on? I don't know. I was actually doing a panel thing the other night, and people were like, well, what about the tariffs? I'm like, what tariffs are on? And this was the whole thing is about tariffs. They all looked at me and said, well, I don't know. I don't think anybody knows. Some are on. Some aren't. We put tariffs on beef from Brazil, but then we brought in beef from Argentina.
He's got this weird-ass formula of this tariff goes on the country, but this tariff goes on a product. And this tariff goes on both. And you can't keep track of what he's doing.
No. And it's like, okay, it's 10% tariff here, but it's 100% tariff on this. And it's very confusing. It is. Somebody just asked why we can't make up the SNAP benefits with the tariff money, because that money's gone. Those one big beautiful bill tax cuts, those weren't free. And the deficit, it's, that money's earmarked for stuff already. And by the way, we still have to wait to see what the Supreme Court says, because there could be a situation where the Supreme Court says, yeah, you can't do this.
This is congressional power, not executive.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they will. It's a possibility. I know yesterday, over the last couple of days, I saw Steve Bannon said, he's going to get a third. He's not going to get a third term. Even Mike Johnson came out and said he's not going to get a third term. I guess that's the bridge that's too far for Mike.
Well, Steve Bannon is just as hyperbolic as Trump is.
Yeah. Well, if you're Steve, your existence, who knew who Steve Bannon was prior to 2016?
Next to nobody.
Next to nobody. And your existence and your relevancy is based on Trump. Trump goes away, the war room or whatever he's got, all that stuff, what are you going to do with that? And no, I know he was out there yesterday going, I'm not ruling it out. I'm not, maybe I am. I'm not going to be vice president. We've got all these people, blah, 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 blah. The thing that he does, because it's a great troll. Because it gets the left all up in,
Yeah, he wants to see the leftists going nuts on Twitter and
but
all that.
Steve, he lays out, well, it wasn't defined as 2 consecutive terms is what it was defined at, not a break in between. Oh, come on. That is not, So you want everybody to pay attention to the Constitution unless it goes against what you want. But this is, for him, it's all about trolling and it's all about relevancy. And I don't think Trump wants a third term.
I cannot believe he would have any desire to do a third term.
No. Trump really wished he could have won that second time. I know he did, or whatever. But I think he could be done. Because, you want to spend your years, and let's be real, I'm not trying to be mean, but, he is past his sell-by date, according to the actuary calendar for men, especially, he got his MRI the other day. People are asking what it's about. You're almost 80 years old. You don't have the best diet. You don't work out. You've got a few medical issues, as anybody that age would.
That's very normal.
Yeah, that's nothing crazy. So, yeah, there's questions that should be asked. I mean, but I don't think he's dying. Not that he would tell us, but still.
When he gets done with this term, I think his entire focus is going to be on transferring his businesses to Don and what's the other son?
Probably
Eric.
Barron.
Eric.
The Barron.
Well, but Barron's still much younger compared to them, though. I think he'll focus on that, and then he'll focus on spending time with the grandkids and that kind of thing.
As you would think, like you took Biden, go do that. Go hang out with your grandkids. Stop, these never-ending, forever politicians. The lady that's running in Maine, she's the governor. She's 77. Now she's running for the Senate seat. Did you see yesterday They declared the dude in Cameroon the winner. He's been president since 85. He's 92 years old. And his term lasts 8 years.
I got a feeling there'll be another executive stepping in to fill that hole at some point in the near future.
Yeah. I mean, I don't again, I don't even know what he does, right? Like we were just talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre. He feels like grandpa at the end of the table. So
Get him, grandpa.
That was so creepy. But this whole, he trolls. He wants to go live his life, count all of his money he's made. You're welcome. And, I know, and a lot of people want to make it out to be, well, when's the big, beautiful ballroom going to be ready? That's why he wants to stay in power, because the big, beautiful ballroom. I'm like, no, it's always going to be Trump's ballroom. I mean, you may, the Democrats could rename it, but it's always going to be Trump's ballroom. It's like a sports stadium that comes about and there's a sports stadium. And you're always going to call it what it originally was, even if they changed the name. Like it could be Bank of America at Fenway. Nobody calls it that. Call it Fenway. Trump's ballroom will always be Trump's ballroom. Always. So this will be an interesting, thing. But the whole 3 terms, settle down. Even if you do have the Supreme Court, I think a lot of people think that the Supreme Court would just roll over and say, oh, nope, it's okay. It's him. We got to give him what he wants. That's not the way it works. That Constitution is extremely important. Some people out there don't think it is. Some people out there are like, fine with it. I don't care. You know what? If it serves the point. It's like, it's so funny. Even the other day watching the Democrats, even this morning, Ro Kahana telling, the Republicans could just pass this bill, right? By using the nuclear option. They want them to do that so bad because it would, at that point in time, eliminate the filibuster altogether, which is the thing that keeps us swinging from far left to far right. It's the thing that we need, but they wanted to do it so bad so they could say it was all their fault, and now, next time we're in power, we don't have to do anything. All we need is a simple majority. That's all we need, is that simple majority. And they're still mad about the whole thing with Harry Reid doing it. So we'll see. I think Bell's just down to get Scott Sapicki. He's going to join us. We're going to talk about what's going on with the cattle. Several of you are cattle farmers. You've sent in, and it's interesting about the cattle farming. It's been a very interesting thing listening to the cattle farmers, talk, because they're seeing prices go up, but they feel they're not getting any of that. And then, one of the things that's not talked about is we talk about cartels, not drug cartels, but the monopoly of what goes on with the big packing companies. And so Scott is finally here because he was doing something else, I guess. Whatever, Scott. Scott Sapicki in the house. What's happening, man? Turn your mic on. There you go. What's happening, brother? How you doing?
Well, I was running here. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm late, man.
It's okay. We were telling everybody you were out fighting cattle. But then Bell said, no, he had to do something with Memphis.
We got a report from Memphis.
What's going on in Memphis?
I'm trying to catch my breath here. We have some very good news. Very good news.
Bell was hoping that we were going to get rid of Memphis altogether.
No. Bell,
we're keeping it, Bell.
There's too many cultural things there with Memphis that Sun Records and Elvis and B.B. King and fill in the blanks, right?
Barbecue.
When I was younger, when I was in St. Louis, we used to take baseball tournaments down to Memphis all the time. You go anywhere.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I know what the governor and the president were all trying to do is get Memphis back to what it used to be. A place where you could raise a family and be safe and go do things and experience the Crescent City what it used to be, right? So here's the numbers. 4.5 weeks in. 1,457 total arrests. 113 known gang members possibly being deported. 274 firearms confiscated from felons. And I have a representative friend, Mr. Pearson, who's protesting this whole thing. We found 81 missing children, the bulk of those young females.
That's awesome.
If we do nothing else,
that's a win.
We have found 81 missing children that were in the trades whose lives were miserable.
Were these children that were?
Yeah. Was there a theme to where they were?
No, we don't have that information. It hasn't been
Okay, so
disseminated
there
to
wasn't
us.
one of those Biden's, lost kids or something like that. We don't know any of that
That
stuff?
hasn't been disseminated yet, but we found 81 missing children that we've been looking for. If we don't do this, those 81 children are still in the lives that they're
I mean, if you did none of the other stuff and you got the 81 children back, that's a win.
That's it.
That's a huge win.
Huge win for us.
What does he say? And I know a lot of it's performative, but what does he say?
Well, he talks about how we are being overbearing at the state, or Trump is pushing his agenda down on the people of Memphis, and they don't want it. Let me tell you something. My son plays football for the Tigers down there, and it would not be uncommon for me to be talking to him on the cell phone, right, and him at a stop sign, and I hear bang, 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 and I'm going to say, oh, someone's shooting, Dad. He said since they've gotten there, you don't hear any more shooting. You see troopers everywhere. You asked about the National Guard?
Yeah.
They're everywhere. They are in support roles to law enforcement for logistics and transportation and to be seen. If you're familiar with Memphis, there's a road called Sam Cooper Boulevard that when you drive into Memphis, everybody drives in on Sam Cooper, right? Everybody drives 80.
Yeah.
Speed limit's 55. He said, Dad, everybody's driving 50. People use their turn signals. People are smiling. He said, Dad, it's the biggest change I've ever seen in my life. From a city that felt like the grip of death was on them to where people are starting to breathe again.
That's awesome.
It's working.
That is awesome.
Now, the question we have is, the governor has to re-request these troops from the
you
federal.
can't keep them forever.
Every 30 days,
yeah,
you got
the
to make
problem is
another
you can't
request.
keep them forever. You don't want a military presence everywhere,
Right.
and these are extraordinary times in certain situations. And you can't keep them forever because it's also very expensive at some point in time. You have to look up. And then my always thing is, and Scott, I think you'll understand is, what happens after? Because after matters. It's like you could arrest 1,500 people. How many of them are going to get prosecuted?
Right. And so that's where we come in to watch as a General Assembly. But you're absolutely right. What does Memphis look like when we start to draw down? How do we keep a void from happening toward a criminal element that ran to Arkansas or ran to Mississippi just comes back in after we leave?
Yeah.
We have to make Memphis a city that if you're a law enforcement agent or a law enforcement officer, you want to go work in Memphis.
Yeah.
Because you have the support of the community and the support of government. The government part, that's something we can come in on at the General Assembly level. We can keep an eye on that. We need the community to continue to step up. And if you are on YouTube or Instagram, it's nothing but people posting about, I was walking down Beale Street and it was fine. I wasn't worried. The criminal element in Orange Mound, if you know Orange Mound in Memphis, it's a pretty rough place. Said there's people out in Orange Mound walking around now. Said it is working. And for a representative to make a statement against 81 kids that we found, that it's wrong, that you believe it's better to have those 81 missing kids still than doing things to help find them, I got a problem with it.
Yeah, again, it's so performative. And I always ask, who's that for, right? Like, who's that? Like, the gangsters, they know you're not for them.
Right.
So who's that really for?
Right.
Right. But I always say, and I always ask the question is, this sounds great, but it's the after that matters. Because like anything else, if you drop 50 pounds and once the cameras leave and all those shows, you watch everybody balloon up, well, then all you did was drop weight for the show.
Yeah.
And if we don't figure out how to fix the after part and give people hope and opportunity, then we're back in the same position where they're cockroaches. As soon as the lights are out, they're back out.
I think that is what we're writing right now, Chad, of the blueprint on how to do this, which can be manufactured and replicated in other cities across the country. The big question is, like you said, we're in uncharted territory here. When you drive all that criminal element out, how do you maintain it when you leave?
Yeah.
And now it's up to Memphis to police themselves. I can't keep 150 troopers in Memphis.
No.
I can't do it. So when they start to draw down, how do we backfill that with more and more people that are going to maintain law and order?
True. Scott Speakers here. We're going to go from this to cattle. We're going to do that straight ahead. Chad Ben Show, Super Talk 997. Relief Factor is awesome. Your body's sure. Oh, Oh, Relief Factor is going to help you. I'll tell you, I take it every single day. Working out a ton, lifting weights and all that kind of stuff. Beauty of Relief Factor is it helps me in so many ways. It's an inflammatory response. Omega-3 fatty acids, resveratrol, curcumin, bicarbonate, all this stuff helps with your inflammatory response. And getting healthy, part of it is lifting weights, part of it's being fit, and this helps you in a major way. And so much of it is about the afters. We're just talking about the after. Well, after you work out, after you do lots of exertion, what happens? You're sore, especially as you get older. What ends up happening is you don't want to do anything else. And then you stop doing it. Well, this is going to help you with it. Try a 3-week quick start right now from our friends over at Relief Factor. $19.95, less than a cup of coffee a day. It is awesome. Go to relieffactor.com or relieffactor.com. I swear by this stuff. I use it all the time. My wife does as well. It's awesome. Relieffactor.com. Call 1-800-4RELIEF. 800, the number 4, RELIEF for Relief Factor.
Amazon announcing today AI replacing tens of thousands of jobs. It's spooking a lot of the workforce. Wait until you hear what everyone is Googling. Coming up at 2:30 on Super Talk 99.7 WTN.
When I was younger, I was going to be a state trooper in Missouri.
Yeah.
There was 144 people applying.
No way.
For 20 spots.
Scott Sapicki's here with us. We're having fun. We're talking. He wanted to be a state trooper. You'd have been boss hog out in Missouri. Boss hog. Scott Sapicki joins us. You're not as a politician right now. You're joining us as a cattle guy.
Yes, sir. Very concerned.
Hold on, I screwed something up.
Yeah, okay. You screwed something up here. What did you screw up? Oh, there we go. There's his walking music. Very good. Now we got it. Cattle farmer. What do you think's going on, man? Because I see a lot of ranchers out there who are upset. You know, there's so many facets to this and nuance. It's not just about cheap beef. It's cheap beef with the cartels of the packing companies. There's so many things that go into this. But, man, I see a lot of cattle farmers on TV, and they're all about ready to give up.
Yeah, we're in trouble. So little backstory here. First of all, we have 5 packers in the United States. 3 of them are controlled by Brazilian companies.
Yeah.
First problem right there. Second problem we had is about maybe 5 years ago, we had all the droughts out west.
Yes.
And the beef producers had to sell off their herds because they were going to die in the field or they're going to sell them off, right? A couple years ago, we had the big fires in Texas that decimated the beef herd again. So what happened was, as a producer, I'm in a conundrum now, right? If I sell my beef that's going to go to the feedlots, to a 500-pound animal, I'm getting almost $1,500 to $2,000 an animal for that animal right now. Normally, you get about $500 to $600. However, the cattle herd is at 1930s levels right now. We need more mama cows in the herd. But the money is so good to get rid of it right now that it's hard to figure out what's the right thing to do. What President Trump did, which is very perplexing, is he put $20 billion into the Argentinian beef to bring cheap beef here to the United States, but it doesn't solve our long-term problem with the low cattle herd.
Yeah.
What we were asking the president to do was, okay, I need that $2,000 to help my bottom line. Why don't you cut a deal with me that I'll retain that female heifer to grow the cow herd, and you give me a certain percentage of that $2,000 that I can make ends meet. Now, in 4 or 5 years, I've got the cattle herd grown back up to maybe 1970s level, to where the price of beef starts to come down, but it's a long-term fix.
No, and this is and you know this, man. It's politics, right?
Yeah.
You don't think of 5-10 years. You think of next opportunity to vote is next year, and if we don't get something sorted out within the next 5 to 6 months, we're doomed.
Right.
So I can't think long term. I've got to think. I've got 4 minutes of oxygen and 4.5 minutes to get to the surface. I got to figure out how to get there without drowning.
And that's why we've got to have long-term thinkers of how we're going to solve this problem going forward, because every day I have less and less agricultural land to feed America on.
Yeah.
Builders and developers, their job is to build and develop. They're not picking the size of mountains. They're picking agricultural land because it's all dirt and they can push dirt around it, right? So we are losing exponentially more and more agricultural land every day to growth. And how are we able to feed America on what's left? It is a problem that we're running into, especially down in Murray County. Murray County, I think, is top 10 in Tennessee in beef production, and we're seeing massive amounts of land being purchased for development.
Yeah, well, I mean, and the long-term thinking is so important. It's like even the same thing with when he puts on tariffs. The problem is it costs the American taxpayer and it eventually costs the consumer. And while it might be good in the long term, we don't think long term. Right. And a lot of that's not just about Trump. That's any president and that's any politician. But that's also on us for not thinking long term, because everybody's got to make ends meet and they got to go with what they got.
We have to figure out a way. And I can tell you this, and I'm sure your phone lines will light up, but the cost, the input cost to raising cattle right now, of feeding them and all this stuff, it keeps going up and up and up. Yeah, we're getting a good price for our beef right now, but when that comes back down, the other costs never come back down.
Yeah, and the other day he was very like, you guys need to bring your prices. Again, it's like anything else. The inflation has brought up all these other prices. Yeah, it's great that you're getting some money that is helping it, but eventually that's going to go back down. Like you said, those prices aren't coming back down.
So what's going to happen is he's going to flood the market with cheap beef. The amount of money that I get for my cattle is going to plummet, but the cost to feed them is still going to stay the same. And it's going to put me in a negative situation, which will lead to more smaller farms going out of business.
Scott Spicky's here. Cattle farmer, rancher. Scott Spicky's here. We're going to talk to him more about this straight ahead. Chad Benson Show, Super Talk 99.7. Yeah, that's, I mean, I like the whole.
2:30 on the dot. I'm Ken Weaver with your top stories. Got the full forecast in 5 minutes. Right now in Jamaica, Cat 5 Hurricane Melissa has made landfall on the island's west coast. Ike Jaichi is on the island's east coast.
Life-threatening conditions are expected to drag on for hours, long after the eve passes overhead. Now, if you're in that western or southern parts of Jamaica, like Westmoreland, St. Elizabeth, or Manchester, the message at this hour right now is to shelter in your home. Shelter in the most secure interior room in your home.
It's day 28 of the government shutdown, and today, air traffic controllers missed their first full paycheck since the start of the shutdown. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy said if it continues, many controllers will not be able to make it without 2 paychecks.
This is day one. And day 2 gets harder. Day 3 is harder after that as expenses continue to roll.
Nearly 700,000 Tennesseans who rely on SNAP for their groceries will lose those benefits on Saturday if the government shutdown continues. And the Gaza ceasefire, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu ordering airstrikes on the Gaza Strip, claiming Hamas fired on IDF soldiers and is slow-walking the return of hostages' remains and lying about some of the remains they have returned. And Amazon announcing today AI is replacing 14,000 corporate jobs. Maya Ephraim leads the search team at ABC News. Says people are turning to Google to learn more about AI's impact on the labor market.
People are searching what jobs are safe from AI, what jobs will AI create, what jobs will AI replace by 2030, what jobs will AI replace by 2050, and then also the specific searches are, will AI replace lawyers, teachers, accountants, doctors, nurses, data analysts, software engineers, product engineers.
That's the latest news. Weather's next. I'm Ken Weaver, WTN News.
Mostly cloudy and cool today, upper 50s, low 60s, with perhaps a little drizzle this afternoon. Steadier rainfall moves. In the 50s on Wednesday. We'll dry things out Thursday and Friday. 50s Thursday, low 60s Friday. Overnight lows are down into the 40s and 30s, but it is looking like good news for trick-or-treaters Friday evening.
All right, no trick, but lots of treats here with our good friends at Beacon Capital Management. Beacon does more than just what it is when it comes to your dollars and cents and your retirement. They do things like estate planning, tax planning, even healthcare, long-term planning, things that many people don't think about but need to, including helping you with taxes. Like, did you know you can deduct up to $10,000 in car loan interest, but only if the vehicle was assembled in the U.S., right? So you probably didn't know that. Top of that, they got great opportunities for you to see deductions when it comes to if you're 65 or older. It's not a full, taxes gone on Social Security, but it's pretty darn good. You got to learn how to take advantage of it. And Beacon can help you with that. And they can help you with the dollars and cents when it comes to your retirement as well. They can do it all. Why don't you do this? Call Beacon today. They're local. Sit down with them. Take advantage of the great opportunities in front of you and find out what they can do by giving you a free personalized financial consultation. It's simple, it's easy, and it's free. Call 615-488-9303, 615-488-9303. Check them out online at beaconcm.com, beaconcm.com for Beacon Capital Management. This is the paid placement. Hey, what's going on, everybody? I want you to talk to my friends at Bulwark Capital. Let me tell you about them. They are active investors, right? They're amazing. They're up about 30% for the year. And what they do is they look globally for things when others just don't. Buy low, sell high. It's fundamentals. It's pretty easy. And it's something they've done for a long time. They want to give you a free portfolio review, go over your investments, your 401k, your retirement, talk to you about what's going on. This is all they do. And it's so amazing when, they'll say, hey, look, we've got a great thing that we're doing over here with this gold company in, faraway land. And you're like, what? And that's amazing. And this is because that's what they do. It's about fundamentals, but buying low, selling high. And they want to talk to you about what it is that they can do for you. They're going to give you a free risk review on your portfolio, go through the whole thing, show you what's going on, tell you what they're about. It's that simple. And it's absolutely free from Bulwark. Go to knowyourriskpodcast.com, knowyourriskpodcast.com, sign up for today, or call 866-779-RISK for Bulwark Capital Management. Investment advisory service offered through Trek Financial LLC, an SEC registered investment advisor. Invest involved risks, not guarantee. Past performance doesn't guarantee future results. Trek 25284. All right, we're back with the cattle farmer, the rancher. Hey, what'd you think of Yellowstone, Scott Sabicki?
It made horses very expensive.
Yeah.
Everybody wanted to be ripped.
They did. A little violent too, right? You do a lot of that on there. You got your guy out there that runs everything, goes out and shooting everybody who comes on.
That'd be me, and the answer is no.
Okay, well then there you go.
And I don't ride many horses anymore because I don't heal like I used to.
Yeah, we always talk about that. We always see these people out here riding on the scooters. They're on vacation. We think, man, when you're older, you fall, you stay falled.
Yeah.
Now get him some Relief Factor.
Oh, your Relief Factor, and get you some shaps. Good Lord. Back to and today we asked Scott's the politician. He's all the things, but today we're talking about the cattle side of stuff and the farm, because I'm sure you talk to farmers too. They saw now up to $40 billion go to Argentina to say what you want, to shore up Milei, that not everything's gone as well as he thought. Yeah, he won this weekend, but that doesn't change the fundamental fact that that place is still, it took decades to get there. It's going to take a long time to get out. Mm-hmm. And people are looking, going, they're selling soybeans to China. That didn't come back to America. And so I'm sure you talk to farmers and other cattle ranchers, and they're all very frustrated right now with this administration. They feel like we supported you wholeheartedly, and we feel like we're the ones paying the price.
Yeah, it's created some animosity in the agricultural market right now, especially in producers of, okay, well, what's the end game here? What's the end game of giving, that kind of money to Argentina for their cheap beef that it doesn't go through the same growing that we do here in the United States. We take pride in the beef that we produce. It's top quality. It's distributed all over the world. And, with what President Trump's doing, I'm trying to figure out, as a producer, what the end game is, right? Number one, how do we shore up our agricultural producers, right? How do we make sure that our soybean producers and our corn producers are viable going forward, right? Without being conglomerated into these, Archer Daniels Midlands, these massive corporations that just take up all the land. How do we get control of the cattle markets to where we're not reliant on Brazilian packers to determine what the price of beef is going to be? That makes it advantageous for them when they sell it. How do we get producers that are able to produce cattle that they can make a profit margin that be able to keep the family farm in business? Our country was built off the family farms, of families coming together and getting land together and working the land to produce something that people would buy and consume. All the while, more and more of it's being consumed by growth.
Yeah.
There's no new frontier to go to west. Well, you can go north maybe into Canada. That's another discussion we can have about what's going to happen up there. But we need our president for sure looking forward of how do we solidify agriculture for the next 10 to 15 years.
And again, you and I, we talked about it during the break, after the break. They don't think in 10 to 15 years.
No, it's the next election.
It's next election. And that's the problem. The problem is, it's like even with the healthcare things. Yeah, we think Obamacare sucks. Well, okay, you guys should figure out how to replace it. You talked about that for years. But at the same time, if you don't do something, prices are going to go up. Everybody only thinks about the next election. Nobody's thinking, because we as voters don't have patience, and the politicians understand that. So their goal is kick the can as far as I can to get you over the finish line, so then I can win again, and then we'll figure out from there.
And those are questions that we need to have going forward. We've got governor's elections coming up here, right?
Yeah.
Okay, what's your plan? Give us the detailed plan on education, on criminal justice, on healthcare. How are we going to keep Tennessee? I'm telling you right now, I receive phone calls all over the country from legislators about what we're doing in education right now, all over the country. I just got back from a trip in Israel with 250 legislators, and they're all coming up to me going, what in the world are you guys doing in Tennessee in education? Okay, well, how do we sustain that going forward to get us to where we want to be? How do we make Tennessee's healthcare? Because we're the only state in the whole country that has a shared savings plan with the federal government on our managed care. We agree that you send us the money in a block grant, we will administer our state-run healthcare program, and then whatever savings we have, we'll split back with you 50-50, and it's been running about $200 million a year that we're able to reinvest in our managed care to make it even better. We are covering more things for people on our TennCare than we've ever covered before.
Talking to Scott Sapicki as we talk about, well, politics, but beef. Beef! Where's the beef, Clara? The Brazil thing. Yes. So we go and impose, 50% tariffs on Brazil. Then we go over to Argentina. And you were saying you don't know what beef you're getting. And most of the recalls don't come from small farms or from the local butcher. It's all from these big packers of these dominant conglomerates. And what's the difference between our beef and their beef?
Well, I mean, normally in the United States, our beef producers have strict protocols on how we're going to raise your beef, how we're going to keep it healthy, how we're going to manage the herd, how we're going to feed the herd, and then when it goes to the feedlots, on how we're going to finish for you. We have it's very scientific when you go to these feedlots out west on managing to make sure that when that animal shows up to the processor, it is as uniform as we possibly can be in health and in carcass, so that when you go to your Kroger, Walmart, wherever you get your beef, it looks uniform. The problem is when you go to your grocery stores now, it doesn't say U.S. beef on it. It just says beef. It says T-bone. You don't know if that T-bone's coming from Argentina, if it's coming from Brazil, or if it's coming from the United States. So you've got to understand that I hope our president is a short-term thing that he may reconsider on, and invest more with our American ranchers on the beef herd. It's not a beef problem. It's a beef herd problem.
Yeah.
We need more animals. Hey, I get every 9 months, I can breed a cow and get a baby. I get every 9 months. That's it. It's not like, hogs where they're having 15, piglets are having 3 or 4 litters a year. I get 1 calf a year, and it's a 50-50 shock. So if it's a heifer, then I got to make a decision. Am I going to retain that animal to either replace one of my older ones or grow my herd, or am I going to sell it? And we've got to figure out a way that we can regrow the cow herd because of the droughts we had out west and the massive fires we had in Texas that decimated the herd.
What would be what's a healthy size herd for a medium-sized farm comparatively to what you've seen in Argentina, which just feels
50 animals or less.
50 animals or less.
Yeah, that's a normal producer across the United States. 50 animals or less.
And what are they sitting at now?
It's tough right now. I mean, I'm about 60, 65 animals now because of the job I do in Nashville. I can't grow my herd because I'm spending too much time away from it. But I could probably get my herd up to about 100, 150 animals, which would be a pretty good size herd in the United States for a private producer. Anything between 50 and 60 is a pretty good size herd because you got to have the equivalent land to be able to feed them and maintain them and stuff like that. And land's pretty expensive. That's the major input cost in cattle or in agriculture is the land. Unless you're lucky that mom and dad will you a couple thousand acres, you're not getting into row cropping.
No.
And unless your mom and dad, will you a cattle farm, my wife and I built this from scratch. And it's taken us 20-some years to do it. And now we're at a point right now where I can grow the herd to become a bigger producer.
Did you make her do most of the physical labor?
Did you make her do most of the physical labor? Settle down, Belle. That's Belle, ladies and gentlemen.
I got Pauly Shore behind me here.
I know. Well, the hair, absolutely nugget.
Hey, and then I see Burl Ives finally came back.
Yes, he did. I love the Burl Ives. That's so fantastic.
I'm telling you, think about it.
He is a holly jolly kind of guy.
His time of year is coming up seriously.
Absolutely. Talking to Scott Sapicki, not the politician, but the cattle rancher. So for 60, let's say you got 60 heads, what's the size that you need acreage?
Ooh, well, it depends on the quality of the pasture, but let's say it's just everything being equal, you probably need 2 to 2.5 acres per every animal.
Okay.
Now, what happens is when you have your babies on there, it stresses the land even further because you got more mouths to feed. So I'd say to be comfortable, 200 acres on that.
Okay.
So do the math on that. If it's, let's say, minimum 10,000 an acre.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
That
That's
is a
the
lot.
problem.
Yeah. And these farmers, and the soybean and all this, I'm looking at the numbers of bankruptcies.
Yeah.
People are, and again, I understand the position that the president's in to a certain extent, but it's like anything else. We don't understand long term. Some of this is on us as America because we live in a world of instantaneous gratification. We don't understand that it's going to take a long time for these things to come out, and we're not patient. That being said, we can't expect you to grow it. We can't expect other cattle farmers and everybody else to do these things if we're not going to be patient. And at the same time, life is still more expensive,
Well, I can tell you this, and I go to a lot of grocery stores. I'm not seeing beef that's being discounted because it's been sitting on the shelf too long.
No.
Okay. The last time I checked, there's still a wait line at all of these big steakhouses in downtown Nashville. So Americans do like their beef.
We love our beef.
They prefer their beef.
But and Hamburger Helper, right?
Now, if we can get it cheaper, that's great.
That is great.
That's great. But this is not something that was manipulated by a market.
Yeah.
These are disasters that have happened that have put us in a position that we just need time to get ourselves
What
out.
did the screw worm do?
Nothing yet.
Okay, good.
I mean, it's here, but
because Ken and I
yet.
are super worried about the screw worm.
Well,
the thing could come and do some damage because it's done some damage in Mexico.
They look for long hair.
Yeah, we got nothing. Well, Bell's screwed.
And long beards.
Yeah, Bell's screwed. But Ken and I might be in trouble too because we got beards. When you look at when you talk to all these cattle ranchers, how close are they to saying I'm just done? Because I feel like there's a lot of them when I see. They just feel like they're ready to throw their hands up, sell their stuff, and turn their entire place into condos or strip malls.
Okay, what you just said to us doesn't compute because it's in our blood.
Yeah.
You either love being in the cattle business or you don't. It's either you will go to the end trying to make it work. Now,
but being bankrupt at some point in time, you're
hard.
You're facing you're going to lose everything and live in an apartment in town.
There are extenuating outside factors that determine when you're done that you have no control over. Yes, if you can't pay the bank, that's the problem. Now, the good thing is because the price of beef when we sell it is so high, you're able to kind of stave that off because let's face it. I mean, I'm getting for a 500-pound animal that I'm normally getting $500 to $600 for, I'm getting upwards of $1,500 to $1,700 for now.
Yeah, but you're only limited to a certain amount.
That's the problem is because I've only got so many to sell. Now, I wish my cattle herd was 150 animals right now. I could be paying off a lot of debt. Like this year, my wife and I, we just had to buy a new round baler. That's $45,000. We bought a tractor to go with it. That's another $60,000. And the round baler was new. The tractor was 8 years old. Farm equipment is very expensive. I know there's a lot of my farmer friends that listen to this, my dairy farmers, and they're all laughing right now because we all joke we're in the wrong part of the business. We should be in the agricultural machinery business.
It's the gold. It's the gold. Who made all the money in the gold rush? The people who sold the stuff for the gold
correct.
miners.
That's correct. And so, but it's in your blood.
Yeah.
I mean, you either like walking through cow patties or you don't.
Yeah, but at some point in time, it
gets tough.
The money comes to a point where I would rather have something than nothing.
And that's why a lot of your family farms, you have jobs outside the farm to make it work.
Yeah.
You just have to in these tough times. You got to have a job outside the farm.
All right. Scott Topicki's here with us. We're going to wrap it up straight ahead. Chad Benson, Super Talk 997. Scott Sapighi, the cattle rancher, is here. What's going on in the world of politics in your world outside of that?
We are probably, 2 months away from the General Assembly coming back in. It kind of takes its breaks around Christmas time, from Thanksgiving to Christmas. So we are in.
Well, you should have been in regular Congress. They take their breaks, I don't know, right now.
Well, we're probably been pretty effective right now.
Yeah.
One could argue.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, they're not spending all of our money outside of the fact that they gave $40 billion to the Argentinians.
But we are, working on legislation, getting things finalized for the upcoming General Assembly. We've got our final meeting, going to make recommendations on education coming to the General Assembly on Thursday. Wrapping that up, how we're going to do K-12. Looking at some stuff in higher education, trying to get tuition down for in-state tuition in Tennessee, making it more affordable for people to go to college.
Ask him
and
about
then
his
working with the military
raccoon
right
murder
now is trying to create greater access for our kids through the ASFAB.
Yeah.
Being able to have more kids. Right now, 50% of the kids in Tennessee that take the ASFAB fail it. Do you know what passing is? 31 out of 91.
Wow. When did that become?
It's pretty bad. And the problem with the ASFAB is you cannot get into the military without passing the ASFAB. So we're trying to create more opportunity for kids. And let me tell you, we got some kids that score really well on the ASFAB, and they go into the military. They're at high-tech jobs.
Yeah. Oh, big time.
I mean, the military's transforming into high-tech. If you don't think so, go watch Ukraine.
Yeah. The military, when I talk to my analyst I have on my national show all the time, he's like, look, because he's at West Point, and he was high up. He handled NATO. He handled all the nukes and everything. He says, the average fighter, that's going to be well behind what's coming.
Yeah.
What's coming is robots. What's coming is stuff. Bell wanted me to ask you about what?
The raccoon murder bill.
Raccoon murder bill. What is this? What is this?
So there is state law right now about raccoon hunting that limits it to a certain time of the year. And the population of raccoons, I guess, has exploded so much in the state of Tennessee that TWRA wants to expand hunting season on raccoons to give people more opportunities.
You want people to kill trash pandas?
Trash pandas.
Why aren't they legal?
Well, I don't know.
They should be.
I don't know. You might want to bring Chris Todd on, who's the chairman of agriculture.
Yeah, I'm going to do that because they should be legal.
One.
There's nothing wrong with a trash panda. They're hilarious. You can buy them, and they have no rabies. But so you're going to, how is it explode? Oh, well, I would assume if they don't really have any threats, and unlike your heifers, they can reproduce rather fast.
They grow pretty fast. So we've got TWRA wants to just do away with the antiquated language and allow people to hunt them more often.
Okay,
to get them under control.
Yeah, under control, not eliminate them. Because I know we've had we can do that here in America.
Well, what they do normally is they'll expand the hunting season on them to get the population down to a safe level, and then they'll pull it back and get it curtailed again.
Tell him
we're just giving them the flexibility instead of having it in code. We're going to give them the flexibility to manage it as they move forward.
Tell him I want it to be legal to own a baby skunk.
He wants to. You can own a skunk here.
You can own a baby skunk?
Yeah, you can own a baby skunk here.
Okay.
Yeah, those are legal. Those are phenomenal pets, by the way. People think they're not. When you get them, they're like you get them. I got a couple good deals. I can get you anything, but and they are amazing, and they're descented, and they are the best pets. They're hilarious. They really are.
I'll trust you.
So they won't spray you when they'll pretend like but they don't have anything, and they take out their sprayer. But still, so you want more cattle and kill more raccoons.
I want people to be able to hunt more raccoons if they so desire.
Yeah, so it's going to be awesome, Matt. Good having you here. The cattle rancher that is. I hope you get up to 100. Hope they can fix this, but it's hard in America because we think moment to moment and not long term.
Just remember to thank a farmer for the food that's on your table.
I will. I had pizza last night. I don't know what the farmer did there. I'm kidding. Phenomenal. You guys have a good one. Matt's Fredette.